Welcome back, everybody, to Tabletop Notch. It's been a lonely couple of weeks without you all in chat and YouTube for those watching later. We're thrilled to be back. We left off on a battling high note, a couple of back-to-back combats as the Yabriu trolls of the Downwield chased us along the river. Ending with a climactic moment on the bridge, both for Val and a little bit of deep lore for Lamont as well, as he got to speak briefly to the troll before he passed away.
They were my dads.
Yeah. Lamont was like, get him, Val. So we'll be diving back into the Downwield, working our way toward the Pink Prairies. But before that, as always, we have a little bit of business to take care of.
That we don't remember how to do.
Yeah.
Welcome to Sunday night, twitch.tv/tabletopnotch live. Thank you for joining us and bidding and streaming and watching and fighting and everything. This is the way that we like to do this. We like to do this here together now live with you. But there's other ways. There's a Tuesday podcast. There's a Friday podcast on youtube.com/tabletopnotch. Unless you support us, in which case you could get early access to that. Also on a Tuesday when the podcast goes live, you can watch the VOD. If you're a YouTube member, if you're a Spotify subscriber, if you're a Twitch subscriber, if you're a Patreon member. So lots of ways to hang out with us between Sundays.
Speaking of between Sundays, you can find us on all social media, like, follow, share those videos. We have lots of clips, funny haha times to share with your friends. We also have tons of cool merch. You know, I feel like summer birthdays are often neglected. Perhaps you could get a summer birthday in your life.
Sorry, because they're lame.
Anthony.
Wow.
There's
Okay.
one summer birthday coming up so soon.
There was a recent summer birthday. We love summer birthdays here at TTN.
Buy TTN merch for
Wouldn't you?
Jordan.
Yeah. Come on,
Please, I need more.
Please. Yeah, so do that. Thanks.
Speaking of Jordan, if you maybe had a question for her but didn't know how to get it to her, discord.gg/tabletopnotch is the place to go. Because there's a place on Discord where you can ask questions about anything, about how the show gets put up, about what's going on in the show. One of my favorites recently is, I think it was Twitchy Spark, was like, I want to play a character just like TC, kind of get the stats, blah. And
I want to
so
be just like PC
You can't
when I
have those
grow up.
stats because it's very rare
Well,
to roll
that
stats.
is what somebody pointed that. I might have been Due Date pointed that out. Unlikely you will get to be TC.
Well,
but
somebody rolled those stats.
Somebody did.
It's possible.
it is possible.
I don't know.
But yeah, if you have questions,
Copy paste it.
Barely me.
just don't roll. Just BTC, I guess.
Just
It's
BTC.
your game, rule of cool, whatever. So join Discord if you have any questions, or if you just want to talk and hang out.
Also, speaking of me, the person that I work with dropped another PDF on our homebrew stuff on Patreon.
Yeah.
While we were away, it's another segment of the pyramid stuff. Some of you may have seen it when we got apparently really unhinged last Notch and Soda. People said that it was like our most unhinged one.
Oh, it was pretty unhinged.
I think it was pretty off the rails. Steve watched it and was like, that was fun.
There was something in the drink.
Yeah. All right.
I thought it was par for the course.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty normal.
It was a little raunchier than you.
So feel free to check out our Patreon. And as Anthony said, YouTube memberships also are a great way to support the show. Wicked. What?
That's a wicked good way.
Oh, it's a wicked good way to support the show.
wickedly good. Is that what you thought I
I
meant?
thought you were like Wiccan. Like if you're Wiccan, you'll enjoy.
Maybe.
And I don't think I have anything else really to announce.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it's our second installment of Pyramid, probably the final installment, but it's up to date with all of the categories that we've done so far, as well as a few extras. So enjoy and create your own absurd unhinged moments in your own groups and campaigns with 100,000 gold piece Pyramid. I think that covers just about everything.
Oh, and yeah, if you want to see what Annabel was up to in our episode Away, we're starting to try to drop more like behind the scenes stuff for the show if you're on Patreon or on YouTube. So check those out.
Yeah. Quick pre-show moment.
Spicy.
Yeah,
It was
figuring
spicy.
out what Annabel.
It was a little spicy.
If you watch the main show, you saw Annabel speak to her dwarven contact in the thoroughfare, but not what they got up to next. So more of that.
Check it out. Check it.
If you watch the show and you say, I wish they did less of it here and more of it somewhere in the dark where I can't see it,
That's what it's for.
you come tell us.
Wolves resubscribe, Low Raskai resubscribe, Terrafay resubscribe, Golden Dagger resubscribe, Sir Plantus resubscribe, Crazy Over Purple resubscribe, Mojo Man resubscribe, Low Raskai gave out 5 community subs. Thank you so much. 911LS resubscribe, Redbird resubscribe, Nice McGrass resubscribe, Golden Grackle resubscribed, 49 Plague Doctor resubscribed, Lord Last resubscribed, Tony Toots resubscribed, Ashen 1 resubscribed, Reese resubscribed, You Can't Sit With Us resubscribed, Armor Crocodile gave out 5 community subs, You Can't Sit With Us 57 bits, Armor Crocodile resubscribed, Dennis Happ gave out 5 community subs, Jijib resubscribed. Mumbleweed resubscribed. Low Raskai 30 bits. Low Raskai another 30 bits. Adria 25 bits. Twitchy Spark resubscribed. Sappy Cobra resubscribed. Mr. Wards resubscribed. And Twitchy Spark did 1,000 bits.
Oh,
Were you guys dabbing for each one?
Oh my god, I didn't see it.
I was doing my own thing, and then I was like, I like what Chris is doing. I'm gonna hop on.
Also, I haven't shouted them out in a while, but thank you to our mods, Pogodoko Dude and Lord Lost for everything that you guys do for the community as well.
We dab on both the haters and the lovers, so.
You're getting
Good
dabbed
job
on.
on him.
Okay, I think it is time for us to get back at it. So, we're going to throw it over to the recap, and then the intro, and then we will return to the downwield. Here we go, everybody. Let's do the thing. Let's go.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh. Previously, on Chapter 56, Damage Control. The party reunited with Annabel just outside of Pocket Ace's Pass, and back at full strength, continued west until they heard the sound of flowing water and distant screams. Down by the banks of the Patlonilo Sphere, a displaced bison employee had just been brutally boxed up by a trio of Yabriu trolls, a species native to the Ogre Mountains but believed to be extinct because of their unsanctioned blood magic. After Lamont presented himself as a worthy opponent, the trolls proceeded to track us on the journey northward, first staging an ambush from the skies, then again at a crossing upriver where their leader had planted some kind of ritual cauldron to call forth a beast of blood. There was never a better time for Val to utilize her unmatched speed to climb the hill and interrupt the ritual, and she did not shrink from the moment as she landed a devastating blow that allowed the rest of the group to catch up and cut the troll down for good this time. Will there be anything useful left behind in Fazalmek's cache of hunting trophies? Or is it simply a storehouse for a few more unlucky adventurers stuffed and sorted into crates? Stick around and find out on Chapter 57 of Brunkhollow. Glad I remembered to shave my legs.
Before we immediately dive back into it, we've got a little something from the last episode, which is an achievement called Been There, Stun That. Sprint ahead of the party to stop Fazalmek before he empties the blood cauldron into the Petalon.
Yay!
Hell yeah.
Impressive work.
Very nice.
That's a really specific achievement.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty specific.
Not that it has his name on it.
It's a cool name.
I was gonna say it wrong.
Go ahead, try it.
I was gonna say.
Fuzzy Malmek.
I was gonna say fossil milk. There's no milk at the end. It's Fazalmek. Got it.
Can you milk me,
So-
Puzzle?
Just a real rough Muppets adult.
I liked it.
Oh no.
In the distance, there's just a few more ridges and rounded riverbanks before the tributaries come rushing in from both sides. Perhaps 1,000 feet or less before the decision to deviate or not becomes unavoidable. This stretch of the Petlonila Sphere has become a little narrower and increasingly rocky, which creates a louder roar of breaking water, but also some spots where one could conceivably cross. Because large groups rarely venture out in this direction, they're not fully formed bridges by any stretch of the imagination. But there's a couple places where ambitious explorers who came before you have anchored ropes to sturdy trees on opposite banks, allowing you to step across the wet stones or wade through some of the shallowest parts of the stream without being swept away with one false step. As you continue to walk, there's a couple of other considerations as well. For Lamont, whether to further investigate this adytum described in Fazalmic's scrawled note. And for the group, whether to find some shelter or area of relative safety to catch your breath before the next leg of the journey. Nothing is simple, but so far your company has been up to the task, and with every step forward you gain some modicum of confidence that you are indeed closing in on your quarry. So you continue to walk. You've gone further down from you can look back and still see that sort of bridge spanning those two higher peaks, sort of well in the distance at this point. You've moved away from that area. But now you're seeing up ahead the part where the two other rivers kind of come in, forming a little bit of a trident fork there in the distance. You're kind of between those 2 points, working your way further north.
If I can kind of hang towards the back as if I'm sort of scanning the back, I would like to as quietly as possible, cast false life on myself.
Sure, you can do so.
Different spell.
For those at home, it's 2d4 plus 4 temporary hit points.
I would say that it's pretty subtle. You just have to touch the target, right? So
Yeah.
just sort of quietly, a little muttering to yourself. A little bit of magical energy pouring into you.
Okay, 8.
Right.
Thanks.
Can we see the fork in the river from here? Like,
Yeah,
we can
it's
see
up ahead, but you can definitely see it. The terrain's like rising ever so slightly, so you can kind of see where they come in a little bit from the upper hills there.
If I scan the horizon, can I see any forests or just large trees in general?
I mean, there's quite a lot.
quite a lot.
If you're looking, are you looking for the one that the note describes specifically?
Yes.
You might need to get closer. You're still a little far from the point where they actually meet.
That's fair.
But yeah, I mean, it's still pretty forested around here. There's lots of trees here, so you might need to take a more thorough look as you get closer.
And would you call the river calm?
Maybe a little calmer than some of the stretches you've seen, but you haven't gotten to the part past where all the three rivers merge, so they're still merged at this point, and it's still the flow is pretty strong here.
Okay.
But there are a couple of those spots where some of the stones stick up where you could step and rope across, but it's rushing pretty strong.
Okay.
I mean, you could go down the riverbank and stick your hand in without being swept away, but
So because of how I wrote it down here, it was described to me. Long shot, looking for a section of river that looks like what Annabel and I saw through the thing, with him on a tree stump and a roaring piece of river.
you have not come across. I mean, you feel like it's tough to just look around and try and pinpoint it, but you do feel like if you walked and you were like right there, you'd have a sense of like, ooh, this like something about this feels familiar to me. Yeah, even if you weren't.
But that is not.
That has not happened. Yeah. No.
I imagine. Oh, sorry. Illien has his arm around Doxley, and vice versa. Like, I feel that wave of nausea. I'm almost through it. I swear. Just get me another 100 paces. I'm sure I'll be fine.
I feel a lot better after the third time I puked it up.
Oh, I think I got another one coming, maybe.
Oh God!
That's fine.
Please,
No,
if
walk
you
it
do
off.
it, then I'm gonna smell it, and then
Okay, yeah.
please.
Hey,
just
everybody.
anywhere.
Do we feel like we want to take a rest so the Tyruns can get a grip?
Well, it seems we've got our next waypoint up ahead. If we were going to stop and rest, it seems like as good a place as any.
Our next waypoint. The fork?
Yes, the fork.
Looks like it ain't too far.
Do you think you can tough it out that long, or shall I carry you?
I'll be fine. I feel like the further we get away, the better it'll be. Okay. Great. Yeah, let's reconvene when we get to the fork, I suppose. See what we're doing.
Nice. Well, with haste.
All right.
As you walk, a kind of consistent breeze keeps you cool even as the sun continues to shine unimpeded through a cloudless sky. And the smell of soft, damp soil has been a faithful companion for as long as you've been traveling along the water's edge. And you add to that now a tinge of something citrusy. It's likely the honeysuckle that you're starting to see growing in abundance on the many shrubs throughout the forest. And together this makes kind of a crisp bouquet that makes you forget about that faintly metallic odor filling the air when the trolls would draw upon that blood magic. Every time they did that, it had that sort of very faintly iron metallic smell to it as it filled the air. You walk another couple of 100 feet, 300, 400. Now you look over your shoulder and the bridge is well in the distance. It would be hard to even spot if you didn't kind of know it was there at this point. River's kind of bent ever so slightly to the right. And at this point, you're getting maybe less than 200 feet away from where the two rivers kind of come in. The western river coming in from the Faded Waste sort of connects a little earlier than the one coming in from the east there. So it's not a perfect fork. It's sort of disjointed ever so slightly. But you're just about up to that point. You can hear the water kind of coming in from those 2 points. They kind of crash into each other and sort of may break and make a few like overlapping waves. White water all the way through. Hard to see to the bottom of the riverbed.
And he's just gonna get down to the water and wash his face. Do we really feel like we need a rest? Are people feeling that down?
I could
Just
easily-
keep pressing on, you
I
think?
could definitely
Would not
use
be opposed to one.
Set watches. I mean, we're only
just a
taking
short
about
one.
yeah.
I don't need a long one.
Right.
Okay.
I'm feeling fine, so if it's easier for everybody else, I can take over. Besides, I have some things I'd like to look into. Anyways.
Nearby or internally?
Well, supposedly nearby.
Okay. Well, you need company. I will take a rest if people haven't, but if you feel like you need someone, I could go.
I think I might. Somebody who's a fairly good spotter, at least, I think would be helpful.
Hey!
A keen eye. If you're looking for a keen eye, I got a couple of them.
Fabulous. Would you need to rest, or would you...
I'd be all right.
All right, well...
Did you suddenly remember that you have kin in the area or something?
Well, we saw them and we killed them. But I'm just gonna kind of wave up the note.
A long lost cousin you didn't mention.
You were relatives to these
You were
people?
relative.
It's just giant blood. It's
Got it.
an Ogrim thing.
Oh,
It's not necessarily.
Got it. I thought it was like your brother-in-law or something.
No, I didn't know they still existed. That was.
Those fellas.
Yes, they're very.
Rare.
They're a type of troll I'd only heard legends about.
Wow.
Is it because they constantly battle with people that they have no beef with and then they die?
It's
I think it's
mostly
more
because of the.
magic.
Yes.
Oh.
It's mostly because of the magic.
Got it. That's fair. Sorry.
Yes, no, it was
So-
very hard to
Didn't
kill
mean
them
hop right
normally
in
outside
there,
of that.
yeah.
This could have been an extinction event that we just put to
Oh, good. So we
just wiped out
we
the
just
last
wiped out an
piece of this
endangered-
race.
Oh God.
Do I put that on a badge?
Well-
on a sash, perhaps?
It was going to happen one way or another, and for our kind, that's the way they would have liked to go out.
So, is this, are we going on a little...
There are spoils, I suppose is what I'm trying to get
Oh,
across.
you didn't say there were spoils.
We can
Well,
all
I was,
tag along.
well, I was trying not to be vulgar about it, but it,
Listen, if you'd like to either say a few words over there...
Spoil.
I'll be right there with you, if you like.
now I can't guarantee it's going to be anything actually useful. I'm not sure what it is he considers valuable, but there should be something there. And supposedly, he's got it hidden right about where the rivers come together. So, if you all wanted to rest anyways,
All right.
might just go looking for that. Might be a little dangerous. They tend to set up booby traps and the like.
My favorite.
Yes.
All right. Well, if you've got them, if you guys feel safe together, I'll take a rest, I suppose. Stick with these.
You've
guys.
heard my yelps before, yes?
Yes, I'll come running.
We'll come
Listen
running.
out for my yelp.
I'm not going to let him get harmed. As long as you spot things, I'll stop them. Val, would you like to stay and rest? We shouldn't be long.
Do you need me? I mean, I can go if you need me.
I think it'll be fine. It's just whatever you'd prefer.
I could use a rest.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Can Can I just make sure I find a spot where we can set our back up to stuff?
I'll have everyone who's resting give me a survival check, and then the 2 people looking around give me perception checks.
Val dies.
I should be okay. Slip plonk into the river.
Got organ trailed.
16 for me.
16. Great.
Dirty 20.
15.
15.
Great. Yeah. Excellent.
Nice.
And then the perception checks.
19 on the perception.
Also 19.
Very nice.
Very
good,
nice.
Didn't even after me.
So first, as you sort of look, you go inland just a little bit. Where the river is, a lot of animals come to drink and feed at the river. That's very, very common. So you figure go a little bit off the river just to make sure something doesn't wander by that you don't want to. There's a couple of sort of promising locations just a little bit to the east into the forest. One of them is a kind of pair of short rolling hills. There's a little dip and channel in the middle that keeps you out of sight of a lot of the forest. So a little place to kind of hunker down, but also a place that you could easily sort of scamper up to the edge of the hill and look around if you wanted to. So that feels like it has a little bit of good coverage there, those rolling hills. And then there's another one that's a little bit of a rocky clearing kind of near an elevated ridge that provides a nice bit of shade and also good sight lines to avoid having something sneak up on you. If you have your back kind of to the ridge, it's hard for something to sort of come up on you that you didn't see in advance. So sort of rocky clearing, little dip in the hills, both decent sort of spots to lay down.
I think going up's better. I don't like being caught in a dip. Seeing everything from up above is generally better for me.
I'm
Up
good with
above,
taking the high ground.
Fine with me.
Let's go.
All right.
Little rocky clearing up there. Great. You guys make a little sort of camp up there. As you head around, you take a little bit of look as you can see them sort of walking into the tree line there, trying to find their spot to set down. Fazalmic's instructions are hardly foolproof, not super specific, but you spend a little bit of time shuffling around the general vicinity of where these 3 rivers merge. And eventually you find yourself at the base of a tall tree with very sparse branches. A lot of the trees around here are very laden with leaves, very sort of rich at this point. But this one looks like the leaves have fallen. It's possibly an older tree. It's sort of knotted in a number of places, kind of dried out a little bit, faded bark. The trunk features several hollows, and one of which, maybe 20 feet up in the air, you can see a pair of visible tufts belonging to what you think is maybe a great horned owl that's sort of nesting in the little hollow there. It's currently asleep. Don't sit inside.
It looked like a booby to me.
So you're sort of at the base of this tree where it seems like a little owl's nesting up in the hollow there.
All right, this seems like the first waypoint. It says 60 steps toward the rising sun. Which, let's see, it should be right about... Where does the sun rise in
still rises
Brunkhollow?
in the east.
And this one's still in the east?
Yes.
Perfect. Wasn't sure if the sun also rises. Yeah.
I haven't got a compass on me, but I've perceived today that it might be this way. How many paces? You can read that gobbledygook?
Now, listen, this is actually very well written. It's just in giant. It's an ugly language, but he wrote it well.
Doesn't look like anything to me.
Well, all right, so onwards then, I suppose. 60 steps towards the rising sun.
I trust
Now, I'm not sure.
your-
I'm not sure if these are supposed to be troll steps or
Oh shit.
standard steps.
Hold on. Can I look in the vicinity if there's any kind of tracks that might give me
Give me
a
a
gauge?
survival check.
Nice.
You can give me one too.
Thank you.
Survival.
It's one of my good skills.
Okay.
Not with that.
Oh no.
8.
6.
Okay. You're sort of going mostly on hunch. It's mainly that it's quite rocky, like it's soil and rock, so it doesn't leave a ton of visible imprints. And you also don't know the last time that he necessarily they don't live at the adytums, the Avery trolls. That's where they go to stash trophies. So it's not like he would be coming and going from there all the time, constantly. So
All right, well, let's give it 60 and then keep looking for a rocky ridge with one stone brown. I assume it means a brown stone.
Stone, comma, brown?
No, there's no punctuation. Not in giant.
One stone.
it's a very run-on language.
Is this some kind of giant code for something?
Rocky ridge.
No, stone brown.
Stone brown?
Rocky Ridge makes sense to me. Stone brown does not.
Oops, I made a little stone brown.
yeah.
Like that
you,
what you're referring to.
Like you
Like
get
a
too
cow
nervous
pie.
and you leave behind a stone brown.
Oh, it's a brownstone building. Yes. I'll look for. Just keep an eye for something that looks like a rocky ridge
What if
with
you-
one brown stone on it after we had 60 steps.
I'm gonna take a step back.
It's then going to be a brown stone that we can move.
All right.
My God.
I'll keep my eyes, my peepers peeled. Take one step back for a moment.
Yes.
How often can you
Get big?
get big? Yes, enlarge.
Well, I've still got a couple more in me.
I just mean to say that perhaps, did you find yourself to be equistrident with them at the time?
Yes, I believe I was roughly their size when I did that.
So perhaps do that so that you're 60 paces. I will at the same time do a 60 paces as a fail safe, but maybe you could do 60 big paces.
You know you're a smart man, TC. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
No one has ever said that to me before in my life. I'll take it.
I'm going to get big.
Could you write it in giant for me so I can show it around and everyone will believe it?
Yes, and I still owe you that other note about my protection.
Oh,
Yes.
great.
I just didn't have the materials on me, mostly.
I understand. All right.
So I'm going to go ahead and rage.
Right. And what's the duration of rage? I know you can keep activating.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, they made it bigger. I think
Right.
it used to be 1.
Yeah, that might be right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I know now you no longer have to like attack or take damage. You can keep using a bonus action. To
Just have to
keep
keep
the rage.
swinging it to you.
All right. You're pretty confident about this starting point, yes?
Yes, this is definitely a, well, unless you think Big Tree Hollow where Owl Nest would be something else.
Oh no, that sounds exactly right. Did you
Yes.
say that before?
What was that?
I don't remember you saying that. It's right here.
Good thing we didn't kill the owl, or it would no longer be the tree where owl is.
Invalidates the whole thing.
60 as the sun rises.
60 as the sun rises.
Start to walk.
As the troll walks.
A 1. A 2.
A 3.
We'll skip ahead to 59.
Thank you.
So even with TC's sort of normal size compared to the larger species of trolls, you're counting out these rough 60 paces and you're aware that there's a bit of a margin of error. You're not sure if your paces are exactly the sort of same, but as soon as Lamont hits 60, you find that you moved into the forest and it's getting dense pretty quickly. The trees are getting a little closer together. And the hardest thing is not counting out the paces, but it's sort of maintaining a very straight line from your starting point. Because sometimes you'll run into a tree, you have to kind of maneuver around it. You look back to sort of make sure you're on the right path here. And TC actually being behind you actually helps a little bit with that because you can see where he is.
You're off. Back to the left again.
Oh, all right.
And it's not long after 60 that there's a steep downward slope in the terrain. So you get to 60 and you start to see kind of a sliding slope, sort of a rocky outcropping right where you're standing.
That seems promising.
And there's even a small clearing because the ground is broken up by these very large sort of boulders that have come together to form this outcrop. It's at kind of a 60-degree angle. It's very, very steep here, at least from where you're standing. It tapers off a little bit further north. It's mostly kind of gray speckled stones or granite-esque, obscured partially by tufts of moss and fallen leaves. In most ways, it's totally unremarkable. They vary in size or shape a little bit, but the downwheel, you see formations like this all the time. This is not unusual. As per your instructions, however, you look down and you see one section of the outcrop. That's a bit of a more faded tan color. Noticeable when you're looking for it, but it's not so out of place as to make it obvious. Like if you hadn't had a note that said to look for it, it's not like, oh my god, what is that weird colored stone there? It's just slightly different, a little bit of tan to the gray there. And immediately you can tell that if there is something behind it, it's not going to swing easily aside like a hidden door in a library. It looks big, it looks heavy. And it may require significant effort to get your sort of fingers into the crevices and wrestle it free from the rocks that it's lodged between. And of course, as you know, this is a doorway that a troll would use to come in and out, not necessarily an average-sized humanoid.
Well, TC, I think we may be entering booby territory.
All right.
Why don't we go ahead and just... believe I need to pull that thing out. Let's try and make sure this whole place isn't going to come down if I do it wrong or something. Can we check for...
Yes, I'll do a little scan of this stone brown.
Give me a perception check.
25.
25. You give a quick scan of both the area, making sure not to step on any sort of tripwires, anything unusual. You don't notice anything, and you also then run your fingers lightly along the edges of where the sort of brownish tan stone is inserted into the rock. It doesn't seem to be anything where like if you moved it, it would like break something or snap something or break something. So this part of it seems to be. Also adding up to that is if this was intended to be obscured, which it seems that it was, you maybe having traps on the outside would actually draw attention to it rather than make it more hidden. So that sort of squares with what your impression is.
How about any blood?
No
Crusty
blood.
old
Yeah,
blood?
none that you see. It's quite clean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, nothing upon first inspection, but as magical as they were, I suppose anything ready to booby us would be quite imperceptible.
That's fair enough.
And I can't move that rock. I can try to help.
Yes. Yes. Go ahead and
like a big job.
go ahead and make get some distance, and I'll take care of this.
All right.
You gonna pry the rock free?
I'm assuming.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's not gonna like hinge like a door. I gotta just like straight up lift.
Yeah,
the thing,
it's hard to tell if it's like a round stone that's lodged in there or if it's like a flat stone that you just need to kind of pull free from where it's sort of inserted into the rock.
Okay, so I guess I'll probably just like get on it and just try to feel for like what is the weight of this? How much do I have to?
Maybe say some giant niceties as you do it. It'll recognize you.
Giant niceties?
I don't know. Something pleasurable to the ears of a giant.
My, what a smooth surface you have. So as I just like feel around the rock.
Nice.
Give me your athletics check and with advantage. For raging, not for saying nice things to the stone.
The rock gets softer.
Can't get double advantage.
Ooh, thank God it's with advantage.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a 1 and a 19, so that's gonna be a 24.
24. Great. We're
Yeah.
gonna pivot around for a moment. We're just gonna look back at. So you guys sort of clamber up to the sort of clearing here that has a little bit of rocky surface. You guys sit down, put your bags down for a moment. Sort of, you can hear the river in the distance. It's just a little ways away. Sort of let the stresses of the fights with the trolls wash off of you. Get yourself seated. At one point, Illien sort of just climbs up on the ridge a little bit to take a quick peek around up top. Nothing out of the ordinary. Little deer kind of bouncing through the forest.
Well, it looks all clear. Start bandaging up or resting or whatever you need to do. Val, you're very quick. You're fast on your feet. I was very impressed.
Exceptionally quick.
Could not have caught you at any point in that.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Do any of your little circus acts involve you running from one end of the tent to the other or anything?
Only when I'm not performing. If I'm stage managing, yes. There's quite a lot of running in the back.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, we don't have the most organized show, and things regularly do not go as planned. But glad I could be of use.
Yeah, that was great.
I think you saved the day.
Yeah, bridge with the cauldron. That was good. Good moves. Good thinking.
I'm gonna lump this into, because all of you had very strong survival checks. As you're looking around, just sort of taking stock of the area, there's a couple places in the soil where there are some kind of indentations that are sort of claw indentations. And, you know, it's a forest that's not crazy out of the ordinary. They're a little bigger. It could be sort of a larger cat creature. It's sort of the impression that the little indentations give you. You gave a good look around. You don't see anything at the moment. But if this is an area that perhaps they come through to maybe to go to the water's edge, as you're looking at those indentations, you just think to yourself that you need to be vigilant, as you think you would always, to sort of just make sure that if you hear anything or see anything between the trees, it's definitely a place where creatures pass through, and the tracks only strengthen that notion.
Saying that, Doxley's gonna have a Giralon urine out in her hand, like ready to go. With her other hand, she's getting the pollen off of the Crenshaw logo from her armor. No,
Nothing like a cool drink.
stop it. No.
When you say ready to go, what do you mean by that?
The Giralon stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I guess if I uncork it, that's not enough to like have the odor waft, right? You have to like kind of
Spread it.
spread it. Yeah, I'll have it like in the bottle, but cork off, like ready to go, just in case.
What I would just say in terms of ready to go, what I mean is like, if the creatures jump upon you and you like toss the urine at them, that won't deter them. It's like a preemptive thing, like because the idea is they think that the Girlon's in the area, but if they see you throwing a vial of urine,
They won't be.
they
so
won't be
easily
fooled by that. Yeah, they're already in the process of sort of tracking their prey.
How much urine do we have? I can't remember
I have
how
a
much we
Carolyn
bought.
urine you gave me.
I have a urine as well.
I have no urine.
Oh, you're missing out, Paul.
I didn't know that was a thing we did.
Yeah,
yeah.
the downwielder can deter some creatures that are big and scary.
I'm thinking about maybe dropping mine, so just good to know that other people have them.
Yeah, I say go for it. We got the resources.
It looks like Garrelon is probably the most appropriate here, right? Not Basilisk.
Yeah, no, let's stick with the Garrelon probably. I mean,
Alright.
if I trust your intuition, if you feel like it's needed.
What the tracks are?
Give me a survival check. Another one. Actually, give me a nature check.
14.
14. I mean, it seems like you're pretty confident it's like a big cat, like a jungle cat. It could be a lion, a tiger. It's a little hard to tell because they're not sort of perfect imprints, but yeah, like a large cat. Like
And so would I think Garrelon or Basilisk would be better?
those are not. Those are creatures that would be scared of a Girlon. A Girlon is scarier than a big cat like that. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think Garrelon's the way to go.
All right.
All right.
Sorry for the smell, but here we go.
Oh, can you just sort of do it like in a perimeter around us?
Oh yeah, but you might just have to get used to it for a second there. If you're
Yeah.
downwind of it, is what I mean.
Better than
I'm
the
not
cauldron.
gonna pour it all over you.
That's fine.
All
Because
right.
everybody's so weird about urine. When I went to buy it, they were weird about it. Like,
Why-
urine is
how
a very
weird about it?
common
Weird.
thing for people in the wilderness and hunting.
Weird in what way?
What?
How were they weird?
They asked if I wanted, like, human urine? And then TC seemed amenable to that, which I was confused by. You don't ask
Is it
questions, though, you know?
It kind of fits for TC.
Does it?
I don't know.
I
kinda-
actually genuinely don't want to
No?
know.
No?
All right. Well,
I'm good.
there we go. Pour.
All right.
Great. Sort of dab the Girlon urine. I mean, you take it in a couple spots. There's not enough to sort of make a full circle,
Yeah.
but a little bit along the tree here, a little bit on a rock over here. Some of the places where you've seen some of the prints and indentations. Spread it around, and again, you're spreading it. You disperse it enough that it's not so. It's a little smelly for you doing it, but it's not so pungent that it's like filling the air. You're outside.
It was a hydrated
Yeah.
urine.
Can I do like a healing surge and then it'll come? Okay, great.
Yeah, it didn't we? I feel like
It'll come back.
You get half or a quarter rounded down of your hit die.
2 now.
You get 2 hit die back
Yes.
on a short rest. I
Yes.
think that's
And using a healing surge doesn't make
Says
make
with
any
a short
sense.
rest, the character regains hit dice equal to or her level up to 4. Minimum of 1 dice.
Yeah.
divided.
Divided by
Divided
4.
by
Yeah,
four.
sorry.
And again, if you're
I got
short
you.
resting anyway, it
Yeah.
actually doesn't matter because you can spend the hit die
Right,
anyway.
right.
But
You basically
yes, you're
get
welcome.
2 free.
I will also spend 1.
Yeah,
I'm gonna use up my focus points, as many as I need to
sure.
just.
You may do so. To use like Hand of Healing, is that what you're
Yes,
doing? Sure.
yeah.
I may as well use another one. Great. Plus.
Max out. And then if I can kind of just
Go off a little bit. I would like to. Annabelle is like sort of been noodling on some like spell ideas all day, and she doesn't really have anything she can like actually do with it. But she's gonna like try to sort of sketch a little bit in the sand, just sort of for herself with a twig, and be like, "Hey, if I do," so she's like gonna kind of do her own little weird thing in the corner.
Yeah, there's something that's come across you that's like, it's almost like a little scratch at the back of your brain. It's like, it happened while you were awake, but it's almost like when you have a dream and you like hurry to write down what happened in the dream so you don't forget. Like, some magic epiphany kind of came through your head a little bit. That's
She's
sort
just
of-
kind of like, I gotta get it.
You guys find her later. She's like, I've got it.
sort of overcome with some magical.
I need more urine. It's the piss.
Any other sort of short rests, just sort of relaxing things you want to do?
Are we still thinking about going Wyvern Val? Where you had any change after seeing how fast you were? Just saying. Maybe the
You think
way.
I can just run through the wastes?
No, I'm just.
Yeah, you think I can just run through the wastes?
I'm just saying. If you've had a change of heart, I think the waste might be the way to go. Just saying. Just let that stew while we wait for the other people.
You said they were the faster.
That's what the scout said. Yeah, it's the fastest route.
Let's when the other two are back, let's talk.
Got it. Nice hard sell, brother.
That's better than I thought it was gonna go, to be honest. All right.
Pivot back to the other side there, where pulling at the edges of the boulder there.
TC's got a handkerchief over his nose, like, doesn't know what stank is going to come out of it.
With the use of the rage, it gives you just as you're pulling on it, you can tell just because you've tested your strength both in and out of rage. A standard mortal form would have been borderline impossible to pull this free. But with the rage form still sort of coursing through, you reach in and you're almost sort of cracking the rock at the edges so that you can get your fingers in deeper.
Well done, yes, harder.
You start to pull it back, and you hear a little bit of stone grinding against. As he loosens it from the surrounding stone, you can see from the side that the rock it's not flat, but it's not like a spherical boulder. Like, it does seem like a little bit of a door or like stone plank that's been put over this entrance here. And at a certain point, it gets sort of up to a vertical, and then you're able to kind of pivot around and just let it fall down to the side where it sort of slides a little bit.
Dang.
And when you first started running your fingers around the edge of the stone, you sort of had your doubts that you might get it loose in a timely manner. But the rock budges, capitalize on the momentum, and just that effort allows you to pry it free, push it aside, and then it kind of slides a few feet down the slope, and then comes to a grinding halt on the hill. Little pebbles kind of skittering down the slope.
You feel all right? Anything buzzing in your brain, or
No, everything seems good.
you know your name? What's your name?
Andre Lamont.
Mine?
T.C. Welker.
All right. Did I ever tell? I did you teach you my last name? Did the rock teach you my name?
I don't know.
All right. Good. You have your sight and your physical. You haven't been sapped of anything.
Not as far as I'm aware.
All right.
Good. Other than the physical strain, it didn't feel like anything.
Well, this is probably where we need to be a little more careful then. We're about to step in.
Imagine.
Also, TC, let's not touch anything right away when we get in there. I'd like to just look at things for a bit before we claim anything.
Recon to begin.
Thank you. All right, let's get ready. I'm going to, I think, make sure my buckler is on, and then just take my staff out and just be using it as a walking stick, more or less, just as we...
Just a sort of solid ground.
I assume that there's like some, potentially as we go down, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a little dip in the terrain. It mostly kind of goes right into the hillside. It's not going down very much because the hill was on such a slope that you can kind of go straight in horizontally. And there weren't any markings on the outside, which would perhaps defeat the purpose of a hidden cache. But as soon as light from outside sort of pours into the opening that's now left behind, you can start to see smeared symbols and short phrases written in dried blood on the interior walls. The words are written in giant, and you can read them, and they're mostly, predictably, related to one's reputation and hunting. You see words like worthy, trophy, duty, honor, strength, conquest, all kinds of sort of troll giant sort of words of yes, brown stone duty. Stone brown duty.
Stone brown duty. I've done my stone brown duty.
Stop it.
At first, as you peer inside, it looks like the cave is actually very, very small. But it actually goes in a short distance, and then it splits off in a T, like goes left and right, a little T section there. It's mostly dark, but some of the streaks of blood actually give off a very faint aura of illumination. It's not enough to sort of light the whole cave up, but you can clearly identify like the walls and the ceiling, even if you don't have dark vision. And the air in here is thick with moisture. The ground is soft and spongy because you're kind of going into the hillside. It's ideal conditions for plants and fungi that don't need the sun to grow, and indeed there's a mosaic of mushrooms and moss that's covering most of the surfaces, the walls, the ceiling, floor. Quite a bit of vegetation inside. So that's what you're seeing. It goes in maybe 30 feet, 25, 30 feet, and then it splits into two directions.
You afraid of the dark, TC?
Not at all.
All right, well. General maze rules is just to follow the right wall, so why don't we...
I might keep a torch ready to go, but maybe not light it right away.
Yes. Well, we could come upon a trap at any moment, so...
Right.
Well, actually, one moment. If we listen at either of these tunnels, is there any particular sounds coming from either direction?
So you're still on the outside. Do you want to walk up to where the tea is?
Yeah.
You guys haven't kind of gone all the way in, but you can give a listen. Right now, on the outside, you're hearing more nature sounds. You can hear birds.
Got it. I thought we were at the
rushing
fort.
water.
Yeah.
No, not quite yet. But if you want to walk inside,
There's no these schmears and such on the inside.
like the blood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing like that on the. When he rolled the rock away, was I ever able to see the inside part of the rock?
Of the brown stone.
Yes.
There was dirt, and no, there was no
markings
blood
on
markings
that
on
stone.
that at all. It seemed like that rock was intended to be sort of
Okay.
hidden, so no markings on that at all.
All right.
Oh, and
You see TC like kind of looking at that rock you already moved. No chance that this finds its voice and comes back and closes us in, is there?
well, if it does, I have an easier time pushing than pulling, so
All right.
I think we'll be fine.
Good.
And don't mind the interior decorating. The writings, this is standard. This is
Oh,
the adytum is
I'm sure.
the adytum. This is sort of what everything amounts to for these trolls. It's
A life's work.
yes, quite literally.
Well, I promise no touching.
All right, so we can make our way to the fork, and I guess I'll be kind of tapping ahead with the staff, trying to feel if there's anything.
Following behind.
Falling behind.
You start to walk forward. You start using your walking stick there, and your walking stick, when you sort of place it on the ground, it can sometimes sort of sinks in if you put a lot of pressure on it, because it's mostly sort of soil and soft earth in here. A couple times you sort of poke and step forward, and one time your staff kind of touches and sinks in a little bit, and there's a little sort of puff of mold as your staff touches that. It seems sort of activated by the pressure, and you pull it back, but it quickly fills the funnel that you're in. I need you both to give me Constitution saving throws.
Oh no!
Well,
Not
You Wendy's.
Okay. 16?
natural 20 for 27.
Wow.
those will both save.
Okay.
I don't believe you take anything on a save.
Delightful.
So it sort of fills the air.
All right.
Okay, all right. So that's all right. So
And the light
jot
that's
that down.
coming off of some of the sort of illuminated bloody streaks, it allows you to see. Normally with dark vision, you can only see in sort of shades of black and gray, but the little bit of light that's coming off as it fills the air, it has a very faint sort of mustard yellow tint to it, and you think that this is yellow mold. It's a sort of hazardous natural element.
I've seen this before.
Okay, so is there any way? Can we avoid setting that off again? Can we see this before we step on it?
I mean, did you see what you hit? Was it hidden in any way?
I'm just not very mold literate.
Both you give me nature checks.
Yes. Oh, it gives and it takes away. That's a 1 for 4.
14. It's not enough to distinguish. There's quite a bit of mold and fungi sort of growing all along the four surfaces. It's enough, however, to see that up ahead where the little T juncture is, there is a spot where the mold kind of stops growing. So you can't be like, don't step there, but with a little leap through the middle, you might be able to sort of land on the spot where there's no more mold. Because it kind of is growing in from the inside and then it peters out the further you go into the
Hear me out.
Always.
You see that? And I've got my goggles at this point too. That give me a little bit of dark vision. There's a bit of a cutoff just past the fork. Now, would you have to kind of decide which fork you were going to go down?
No, you
Oh,
sort of
okay,
are jumping
before the-
right to the
Okay.
where the T is, where the juncture of the T is.
If we maybe get a little running start and try to do a bit of a... We
Yes.
can get past most of it, I think.
Yes.
and perhaps hold your breath.
All right, that sounds great to me. How do you feel about jumping?
Oh, very good.
All right.
You see these things?
How do they look?
How do they look?
How do they look?
Oh, they're a little creamy.
Thick and creamy.
They're pretty thick and creamy.
Like
If you'd like, I could throw you or carry you.
Oh, I'd like to try this. I'd like to try this myself.
Yes?
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to go first, or would you prefer I do it? I can catch you.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Two things that I just want to clarify. Are you still raging, or did you let that drop?
I'm holding it. Yeah.
You are.
I'm
Great.
holding it as long as I
Make sure.
can.
It's making you larger, which can make it easier to accidentally scrape against the sides. However, it also does give you, when you're jumping, it allows you to jump further because you're stronger. So
I figured everything should be able to accommodate somebody of my size.
yes, it definitely can. It doesn't look like you're about to
Yeah.
start hunching. It's just if you were to take a leap with your size, maybe you could scrape against the wall with a poor leap. Is the idea.
Okay. Sounds good.
So 2 feet from the jump.
About how far away is that area from?
25 feet.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Well, so because of my second story work, I determined my jump distance using dexterity, which means that I think with a 10-foot running start, I could go
get?
20 feet.
Okay.
But that's not quite enough.
Have you make a little athletics check to
Okay.
see if you can give yourself a little extra something.
Okay.
Can I help him by boosting?
So
Yeah.
Aww.
I would say, you can give the help action to him to help him sort of
Try to do that.
vault a little bit.
All right. From right about from where we hit that first one to that right up there. All right.
All right, I hear you.
I'm gonna take a
Quick little running start.
Yeah.
You sort of vault him through. Give me an athletics check with advantage.
Oh boy. Okay.
Come on.
Athletics.
Come on, baby.
Dirty 20.
Nice.
Okay.
You sort of, and you fling him pretty far. You almost kind of sort of bump into the wall there, and you sort of catch yourself. Look across. You can see Lamont 20-25 feet away from you.
Do I make it in the act?
We'll
All
talk.
right, I
We'll
saw the
talk.
hesitation. I heard.
We'll talk.
I saw the hesitation.
We've got a lot of acrobats currently.
All right. Well, I don't know how much I could stop your momentum at the size you are.
I wouldn't try.
I shall remove myself from the middle, and I'll kind of carefully step to the side.
All right,
Give
and
him
I'll
space.
just try to cannonball across here, I guess.
I mean, I think you have advantage on athletics checks while still raging. So
So I'll be nearby if he stumbles or something to either help right him or.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's a 24.
24.
Nice.
With a
Wow.
charging sort of running start, and you see Big Lamont sort of coming through.
Big
and
Lamont?
at first TC's ready to catch it, and he's like, and you sort of
Maybe just the coattails.
sort of crash against the wall. You brace yourself there.
No mold? No mold! Look at us.
Test one. You're mounted.
As you're standing there, sort of well cleared the mold, which is excellent. As you look back out the direction you came, it does strike you that you won't have a 10-foot running start as if you were to try and leap back out because this sort of little area that you're in. So you could still try to make the jump, and it would just be a more difficult jump.
How about, I guess, how quickly did the happen? Where if we ran full tilt, maybe not get the full.
Another check required, but possible. I mean,
What if we held our breath as we ran through? Is this a thing
it
we need to breathe in?
irritates. Yeah,
Irritates?
it's like sort of any inhaled poison also irritates like glands, ear, like any orifices opening. Like it's
All right, good to know.
not a breath
Yeah.
related.
Got it.
All right.
So we gotta plug all our orifices.
Plug
Put your
everyone.
clothes over your
Or
head
get a-
and just run through.
I only usually bring enough corpse for myself. I'm sorry.
Moving on. Let's have a little listen at these tunnels here.
As you're at the little T juncture here, you reach this point where the cave splits, and there's a couple of things that you notice. One is that you're starting to see some of the trolls' trophies lining the walls. And these are pretty basic so far. You see some rusty pieces of armor piled into little piles. You see some tabards or articles of clothing that are sometimes anchored to the wall with like wooden splintered stakes that are sort of put into cracks in the wall. You see animal tusks of varying shape and size that are bunched up into little bundles. And none of them look particularly valuable, and you doubt that these are the most prized possessions that are contained within here. But it's an impressive haul nonetheless, a troll that's, hunted for years and sort of racked up a number of trophies. The next thing you notice is that regardless of whether you choose to go left or right, it seems like the cave curves back around. And you actually get the impression that this isn't a T-juncture that goes off in two different directions. It's more of a circular room that has a pillar, kind of a stone pillar in the center of it, so that the two paths might sort of come right back around and meet each other. It's almost shaped like a big wheel with an axle in the center. And the shimmering words and symbols drawn in blood are popping up in greater frequency as well, giving the room a kind of dull, hazy glow.
I don't suppose any of them are like this way.
Give me a perception check.
That means one of them is. 16.
16. You start reading the words, and TC sort of waits as you sort of look. Some of them are a little further away. You're trying to pick them out. A lot of words with the same sort of connotations as the others. Honor, duty, things related to hunting, sort of trophies. And then you spot, up until this point, you have never seen a word repeated on the walls. You've never seen the same word twice. So all kinds of words, but never the same word twice. And then you see, once on the left curved path and once on the right, you see the same word 4 times. And it says ruin. It says ruin written 4 times. And twice it's on the interior pillar and twice it's on the exterior wall. And it's right at about kind of knee height. So like one on the interior, exterior, like over here, and then one on the interior, exterior over here, right at about knee height. It says ruin, which is sort of doesn't fit with the motif of the other words.
Stay on both pathways. All right.
Standing out?
Yes, actually, I believe that there may be some blood magic set up in here.
Not surprising.
So I point out the words that are.
You can't read them, but you can see the letters.
So those right there, instead of valor and charisma, things that they value, it says ruin, which
They value charisma.
in a sense.
Maybe we should have made friends. All right. It says what?
Ruin.
Luther says what?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Now, do we think that the positioning of those is something that we could, once again,
Well, you said they're
do a little
at about like knee height. Yeah. Well,
get up over?
yeah, I think maybe we just need to keep our high step over them when they're over there. They're fairly low on the wall. Tell you what, I can go test it out,
All right.
and then you'll see.
I will see.
Right.
Carefully now.
Going to carefully approach it and just try to like keep my senses tingling for the sense of anything going wrong. Sure. And then when I get there, just try to like take a nice big step over it.
Sure, almost as if like you're anticipating kind of like there isn't a physical thing but like a invisible trip line kind of trip wire. You sort of take a wide step over it. Give me a athletics with advantage.
TC's got his hand.
Acrobatics with. Do you get advantage on?
No.
I forget. But do you get to make some checks as strength checks?
Ooh.
I believe acrobatics is one of them. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
It's that.
Where is it? It's not under primal knowledge. Yeah, acrobatics I get to make as a strength check.
Excellent.
So instead of a +2, it's a +2.
Excellent. Yeah. While rage is active, you channel your power. When you make an ability check using one of the following skills, you can make it as a strength check, even if it normally uses a different ability.
Nice.
And acrobatics is one of those.
That means I would get the advantage. Yeah?
Then you may do so.
Nice.
You're right.
Acrobatics with advantage.
So it is. Okay. I should be doing perception stuff with advantage too then. All right.
Oh, you can perceive. Rage perception.
Woo! Okay, yeah. So I mean, that's gonna be a 5.
Oh!
That's.
Oh my goodness.
As you're attempting to kind of step over the sort of narrow corridor of the walls, you sort of place one hand out to brace yourself against the wall, and just that section of wall has kind of a loose stone that crumbles a little bit and causes you to step down kind of right where those two words are. And there's a brief kind of breeze in the air just before a sort of almost like a swinging scythe of blood kind of circles through the room all the way around. I need both of you to give me dexterity saving throws.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
And
Neil!
it kind of splatters against the wall in some places, like it's a blood scythe that spins around through the room as the thing's triggered.
Dexterity save.
Dexterity saving.
I don't get like advantage on this or anything, do I?
I think you have evasion, so that helps,
it will
but
help,
it doesn't
not
give
on the
advantage.
roll. Yeah.
I'm rolling
okay.
very weird. This is a weird advantage.
Please. Oh. 13.
Okay, that's a fail.
13.
Those are both fails.
All right, well, I get to have it, whatever that is.
have it
We'll come scrape you off
I'll
the
hopefully
floor.
get to have it.
We'll fucking have to.
We don't know where they are. Uh-oh.
Because I'm raging, so hopefully it's...
We should have right.
19 necrotic damage.
Oh!
That's fair.
And you sort of stop and you look down and you think you have kind of one leg on one side and one leg on the other because you sort of fell down in the middle there. And you can see the blood smear sort of over your clothes and your armor there.
Don't do that again.
Well, it's not fair. The rock didn't stay in place.
Don't worry about it. It's just concentrate.
I thought you'd be safe. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
How are you? Can you keep going?
I'll be all right. 19 down to 9, I imagine.
Has the ruin? Has that symbol? Has anything changed? Does it seem like the magic has been spent, or would it still? God fucking Christ! All right.
It kicks it
But
on
at
the
this
wall.
point, it does seem, having identified that you could lift that leg and get over to the other side.
All right. Good. Man.
All right, well, guide me.
All right.
And I'm gonna. I mean, is it high enough where I could, if he's steadying me with another hand on the other side?
I'll just put my big meaty arm out.
Yeah. Give me, if he's helping you, give me an acrobatics with advantage.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
See?
Natural 20.
Yay.
Okay.
Booyah.
All right. My God, maybe you could be in the circus.
That's what this whole thing was all been about.
He is grace.
After you follow the kind of little curvature of your sort of chosen course that you took, you quickly confirm what you thought to be true, which is that both paths reconnect on the opposite side of the room. So it is this sort of little weird, sort of circular wheel-shaped room. And it's here that you find a small carved-out nook with additional spoils of war. They've been gathered, placed upon stumps, makeshift shelving on the walls. But while it's better than the rusty garb that you passed on your way here, you have to say, if you came here for loot, you're a little disappointed. There are a few things, however. There's a set of chainmail armor, looks in decent condition. There's a kit full of alchemist's supplies. There's a couple vials of serpent venom, the poison, you recognize, the common poison. There's a couple of larger weapons that are in better condition. It seems to be proud that he felled sort of a foe wielding these weapons. There's a halberd and a trident that are sort of leaning up against the corner. There's a crowbar, sort of a little metal curved crowbar. And some broken bottles and pieces of jewelry that don't look terribly fancy, but copper and silver, I mean, they might be worth something, but they're not, immensely valuable.
Can I just sort of study these are placed like it's an alcove? Is there any sort of altar to it, any kind of shape, or what is it like?
It's like if there's a circular room and then there's like almost like a little bump cut out into the exterior wall, and it's like a little shelving unit, and it's not a made shelving unit, but a little carved out section of the wall. So if you step into the alcove, you're no longer in the circle where like if the scythe were to whip around, it wouldn't hit you in this little alcove that you're in. But that's what you're standing in.
This doesn't seem right. Is there any writing in this alcove?
I can have you take a look around. Give me a perception check. And also, is there any of those you want to take? I have the item cards for them.
I mean,
anything you want to take?
Things that are small enough to stuff in a bag, absolutely. Like the
Serpent venom.
venoms, the trinkets, the copper things.
Sure. We'll say write down like 8 varying sort of mundane jewelry.
Okay, jewelry.
I've got the serpent venom. The bag of alchemist supplies. Do you want that?
Yes, yeah.
Leaving the chainmail.
Leaving the chainmail.
Either the weapons or the crowbar.
Of the weapons, you said halberd,
and a trident.
And a trident?
A halberd and a trident are the 2 weapons. Yeah. And a crowbar.
I can carry those. I assume the Tyrun.
I think some of our friends would, if we could take at least 1 or 2 of these.
Sure, I can handle those. Here, would you hold this for me? I'm gonna hand him my my staff.
Oh, all right. Yes. I mean, you could attach, like, each one of us could kind of attach one weapon to us, right?
I mean, they're big, but yes, you could definitely do that. Here's the trident and the halberd.
Trident is smaller,
Yeah,
maybe?
the trident is smaller.
Well, you take the habit. I'll hold on to the trident.
Here's the
and you can keep your
crowbar,
staff.
alchemist supplies, serpent venom.
I don't think...
All right, fine. I'll hold on to it.
The crowbar looks like a regular crowbar.
It does look pretty good. I mean, nothing about it that looks special.
No way, it's an immovable crowbar.
Yeah, crowbar of invincibility.
Crowbar of level 9.
Yes.
Crowbar.
It has 9s carved on it, engraved.
Still got my crowbar.
I think I might leave the crowbar behind. I don't know if you...
You never know when a crowbar is going to come in handy. One time on the road. It's not worth it.
Here you go. I'll take these. Now, again, yeah, I'm looking for blood too, because okay, the nice words and the ruin were all kind of written in the same just blood.
Yeah, they're all over them. They were all.
And he's looking into what
This doesn't seem.
here.
Yeah, as I'm scanning things, I just I like mutter. He seems like this just doesn't seem. Fazalmik would go larger than this. This doesn't seem like
A hidden,
this can't be.
a hidey hole within the hidey hole. What?
These are supposed to be shrines, altars. Making them impressive is almost as important as being good in combat.
I mean, the aesthetic eye of a troll, I guess, put up those nasty, rusty bits of armor. You think there's something even more potent hidden here?
I think all of that is to make you think that you found it, but that's
All right.
he's hunted bigger things than this.
All right.
Sorry, did you make your perception check?
Yes, 18.
And that was with advantage for your
Yes.
raid? Great.
Now that I know that they're strength checks.
Yeah. Strength
Yeah.
perception. Great. Sort of takes a moment to look around. TC sort of waits while Lamont reads some of the words. We are going to go back outside here for a moment and revisit ye having a short rest. Did you guys do the things you wanted for a short rest?
If we've hit it.
Feel free to
Okay.
do that. I mean, you're far enough along
Right.
in it that you can do so.
Great.
And all of you give me perception checks.
Fine.
Doesn't sound good so far.
26.
Oh, nice. 6.
5.
9.
9. It's apropos. It's Annabel that actually spots something in the distance, and it's because you're sort of away from the camp a little bit, sort of doing your sort of mutterings, drawing in the dirt a little bit. At one point, you're sort of drawing in the dirt, and you look up, and it was surprisingly quiet. But you see in the distance what looks like a saber-toothed tiger approaching, sort of between the trees, and it has its head very low, and you can see as it's taking steps forward, it's sort of. And you have the instinct in that moment. You're kind of outside a little bit where Doxley sort of made her little circle. So if you want to sort of quietly get up, give me a stealth check. Yeah, give me a stealth check as you sort of get up and move back.
That is 19.
19, great. Very quietly keeping your eyes on it the whole time. And you sort
And
of...
as I'm doing it, I'm gonna pull my bow and a beast slaying barb
Sure,
out, just so it's ready.
very quietly. You step back and you walk. You let the sort of surrounding greenery kind of envelop you, and you see it. And you start back, and as you turn around, you can see the rest of the party sort of resting around the stone. And they have not seen it yet.
Okay, great. And I'll just be like, hey, with my thing drawn, and just back up as quiet as possible, kind of be like,
What?
I'll take out my longbow and point at what you're pointing.
saber-toothed tiger.
Cool. And during that, up on the ridge, you watch as another kind of appears up on the ridge.
Oh my God.
Different must be a different one, so unless it was ludicrously fast there. And you see it do the same thing, kind of.
Do you have more urine?
Don't worry, just be quiet. It's all right.
Just lay down. I'll go away.
Trust in the urine, Val.
Val starts to lay down.
Everybody give me stealth with advantage.
People in heavy armor.
Not relevant to this. With
So with
yours, you're not moving.
Jordan!
Anthony! 12.
14.
18.
Nat 20 with 21 total.
There we go.
And it kind of, the one on the ridge kind of pounces away. And Annabelle, from where you saw that one appear at the first time, you see a couple kind of leaves move around and a little snout kind of poke out. Jesus. And then
I don't care who you are. That's adorable. You see that little snout?
I agree. At a distance, they're majestic creatures, but
both the ability to sort of stay unseen, so to not give away that there isn't a Girlon, and the smell seems to have fooled a couple of creatures.
Gods, I love urine.
Yeah.
it was
Okay.
a good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I think we're okay, Val.
But Lamont and TC are gonna have to come back up here.
Yeah, they might be in a little bit of trouble.
As soon as they get here, maybe we just take off running.
Well, I think
just go.
Val is suggesting that they're gonna have to traverse back
Back
toward us,
this
and those
way.
creatures are out there somewhere.
Yeah.
We didn't.
They
we
didn't look
really know
too
where they were.
ferocious.
Did
If it
they
has
tell
to be a
you-
thing, it's fine.
Did they tell you where they were going?
No?
Great.
Probably should have
Probably
spoken
should've
about
asked.
this.
Great. We definitely should have talked about that.
Ah,
Great. They just sort of took the fuck off.
TC seemed pretty confident that we'd be able to hear him whimper.
Holler? Yeah, all right. If I can kind of, now that I'm sort of done with my witchy music, if I can sort of like post up on the ridge so that I can sort of see everything,
Nice vantage
sort of
point.
keep a nice, do my ranger thing.
Yeah.
Range.
Range, do some range. Increase your range. Anything else during this sort of downtime here? I mean, it seems to you listen carefully and you don't see anything sort of approaching, so you feel like you don't have to be quite as quiet or stealthy as you were.
I guess if conversation kind of dies down, Illien will get closer to where he can just stay looking out for anyone following. If there's
Okay.
anyone.
Like sort of back down river where you came from.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. You can keep an eye on.
You said there's a trees up? Or
I mean, there's this little
climbable?
rocky clearing that you guys were in, but yes, there's definitely climbable trees.
I
Mostly
would
kinda
like to try to
spruce.
get a little bit of a vantage point.
Sure. Give me an acrobatics or athletics, whichever you prefer. You sort of leap to the lowest rung of branches.
19.
Great little. Sit up in the first branch. You can go higher if you want, but you can sort of see around in the
I'm
surrounding.
okay there, yeah.
If Dox is like by herself kind of thing, I'll be like,
She's
hey,
kind of right below you where you're sitting on the ridge there, yeah.
Doc,
Throw rocks.
hey, come here.
Okay.
Was Illien there when you went upstairs when I took off with them?
I think this is a conversation that we should all have together.
Oh shit.
No, it's just like something has progressed, and I don't want to say it like 8 times.
Fair. All right. How do you feel about taking this waste?
Oh, I feel fine. I'm actually quite excited. I'm very curious to see what's there. What?
I don't feel like curiosity is always that great an option, but all right.
I usually say that myself, but I don't know. I've always wondered, like, if you've ever been in like you hear scary stories and stuff, and you're like, oh, I wouldn't die in that scary story because I'm smarter than that, and I'm kind of seeing it like that, where it's like a big challenge.
Do you know what friend has put him up to this? Since I believe him when he says it wasn't Ramo.
Put him up to what?
This task in the waste.
Oh, going to the waste for his thing. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Great. Cool, Docs. You've really reassured me that this is a good way to go.
I've never advertised myself as being particularly reassuring.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Can I go throw more rocks?
Do your thing,
Thanks.
yeah. I'm just looking out here.
I was right in the
I
middle.
was really in the middle.
Yeah, do whatever you
just
wanted.
found.
There's like a little hole in the stone. You're like,
Go for it. Go for it.
back around in the adytum there. As you're looking around, sort of carefully reading the words, it takes a little while. There's words kind of all over, and TC sort of waits with a little bit of anticipation because it's a little frustrating that you can't kind of read them. And I would say one that kind of catches your eye is you see another word that kind of doesn't quite match up with the general theme of the adytum as a whole, you see the word gain. Gain, like in giant. And in addition to that, just above the word gain, there are 3 sort of holes bored into the stone that were very, very hard to see because it was very dim in here. Sort of 3 horizontal, like right in a line, 1, 2, 3 holes. Right above the word gain. And that's on like the central column. It's not in this little alcove. It's sort of, if you're in the alcove and you're looking toward the center, it's kind of right there. That's where you see the word.
TC,
Yeah.
would you actually mind if I swapped with you? Can I take the trident, you take the halberd?
All right.
I think I may have found a little... Oh, yeah, we can...
You can say it.
Here you go.
We can just say it. There we go.
Let's do it. I guess before you go, any other clues on that gobbledygook note that you got?
It was really just about getting here.
Nothing hidden between the lines?
Once you get to the cave behind, it's, well, okay, so give her you adytum. Here we are. You kill me, very impressive. Long life to the victor.
Okay.
Yeah,
I suppose there's nothing hidden in that.
I don't think
but
so. I think the note was really just about getting us here.
Any of those words like line up with what you're reading over there?
Well, the thing that's standing out here to me is gain as a word, which seems like something, but I'm not entirely sure what it means.
Gains, yes. Gains.
However, it could just be, there's these 3 little holes right above it. Don't say anything. I think the trident might be what we need here.
Line it up.
Does it seem like the prongs are appropriately spaced?
As you sort of take out the sort of trident and you sort of move it closer to the holes, you also, as you're looking at them, and this was very hard to see in the dim light, there looks like there's a little bit of dried blood on the prongs of the trident itself.
Hold on.
And for, used weapons, that's not crazy out of the ordinary, but for this particular moment, it seems to sort of line up to you.
Yeah, hold the letter.
TC once again covers his nose and mouth with a little handkerchief here.
All right. Well, let's see what happens. Just go ahead and...
The prongs line up and you
Strike true.
It goes all the way kind of in up to the sort of end of the forked portion of the trident there, and stays sort of firmly in place there. But it doesn't nothing like happens immediately when you have inserted the trident.
Speak the magic words.
Gain in giant.
Nothing happens when you speak the word gain.
You said there was blood on the
Tips
trident.
of the trident, yeah, and each prong.
I'm going to pull it out and examine it real closely. Does it seem like writing, or does it just seem like it's just blood?
No, it just seems like blood. Yeah, it does not seem like a thing.
Okay.
Is it too old
Are you
and dried up? Do we need to give it a little moisture?
Are you squeamish?
Usually not. Where are we going with this?
I would just turn around for a couple seconds.
No! Explain yourself!
Well, I'm just going to freshen this up a little bit.
All right.
I'm going to.
I suppose we just got flicked with the stuff back there. Do you want to use that?
Oh, that's a really good point, actually.
Like, is it kind of on the walls here, like what just hit us?
A little bit, yeah. Some of it kind of sprayed along the wall.
I could try to help you
That's
collect some of that.
That's an excellent point. Can we? Does any of it seem wet enough that I could just like?
I mean, if you run your hand along the wall, you can get the blood on your hand there. Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
And do a couple of those.
Yeah. Sort of.
Once
Enough
again,
that we-
you're a smart man, TZ. Let's see.
We're running a little bit. It's a little fresher there on the tips of the trident.
Fresher. Let's try inserting that again and see what happens.
This time you sort of put the trident in, and this time it fits sort of firmly into place. And not only that, nothing happens, but now it seems like stuck in there at the moment.
Okay. All right. This is something.
All right.
If I look,
Something with one of the other weapons.
let's check the
Check the back of the
Yes.
trident. Is there
Yes.
anything on the back of the trident? The end, the
yeah,
tip?
nothing there. Can you check the edges here, edges of the wall? See, does it seem like this might rotate, or do I need to push this in a certain direction?
It's very hard to tell. I mean,
Edges
it's like a
of the-
rocky.
yeah.
I mean, it's a circular room, but very difficult.
Again, the crowbar. Give me the crowbar.
Yes.
Yeah, does that kind of have? Are there any? Again, not holes, but maybe something with the. Again, with the tip of the back of the trident, or any other markings that would match.
Give me a perception check.
Oh, 27.
27. You take the crowbar, and you're not really sure what you're looking for. You kind of move it, tap it around, and at one point, you sort of give up a little bit. You drop your hands, and you had the crowbar down by your side, and it had gotten just under the lip of the wall. Like you kind of heard it kind of tink against the stone wall, and then when you went to move it, it was kind of stuck almost like there's a teeny gap between the wall and the floor, and the little edge of the crowbar kind of wedged itself in there.
I'm onto something here. Does it
Yes?
seem like I could give it a
It seems stuck. It's. I mean, you could like pull it back out, but it.
Okay.
Like if you give it a pull, like to pry,
It would
like,
come out.
That's the whole wall. Like,
Oh.
it doesn't budge at all.
But sorry. Alcove.
Circular room.
He's within that circular.
Yeah, he inserted the trident into the center sort of column in the room.
And I am also in the alcove.
Yeah,
but it's like kind of
Again, not the alcove, the room. The alcove is where the items were.
Yes.
That's not where you guys are. You're in
We're in
the
the circular
you're in the circular.
Oh,
room.
we're back in the circular.
Yes,
room.
and the crowbar got stuck kind of under the wall, the base of the wall in the circular room.
The outside or the inside wall?
The outside wall. Yeah, not the column.
Just like dirt mostly.
Rocks and dirt.
It seems like it. Okay, all right. No, that's good. That's good. It's a groove. That means this probably moves.
Take the halberd and see if I can also kind of wedge it in the same area.
Not more than
Not more
sort
than
of
that.
already.
Is there? If I try to move the trident like a lever in any capacity.
You take the sort of trident by the hilt there, and it doesn't kind of budge back and forth, but as you're doing that, your feet are kind of sliding across the ground, and as you take one step forward,
Oh, all right, CC. All right, CC.
I'll take the crowbar out and let it smooth.
walls, the middle of the room stays in place, but the exterior walls grind
Whoa.
and rotate with sort of if you take a little step while you're holding the trident there.
All right, I'm gonna stay. I'll stay at pace.
Yes. Let's keep our eyes out for the ruin spot. Would the ruin messages be moving with us?
Yes,
or are
they
they're
would.
all
Yes, the words are moving with you.
Okay. All right. So we're safe there.
Okay. And the alcove.
No, I mean, I think not safe. Like,
They're not moving, so we're gonna
you
move
are,
across.
well, they are moving. You are not. You're
I'm
in
not moving.
place, and as
Okay.
you're moving your feet, the walls are rotating around. You are staying in place, anchored into the center.
Yes.
And the exterior walls are rotating around.
so
if you were to
the
continue to walk.
alcove is starting to disappear.
Yes, it's the walls are covering the alcove.
Okay.
slowly. Yep.
Push it until you see another alcove, but watch out for blood.
What?
There could be more
Looking
smears.
for the ruin spots. I'll let you know when it's coming up.
You start to walk. And it's not coming effortless, but the walls do rotate around you with a little bit of ease, like a wagon wheel that's been amply sort of greased. And you wince to think about what might be taking the place of grease in this Yabriu troll equivalent design, some kind of blood magic in the walls here
Butter.
that's assisting you. Yeah, butter, red butter. And finally, you sort of are pushing, and you're starting to see those ruin words like coming around the edge of the room. So you're pushing, and it's coming around. You're gonna need to keep walking and step over it, kind of as you're pushing.
Or could we kind of double team it, where as it's coming up, I'll like crawl over it, and he pushes it to a point that I
You
can
can start
have
to pull it.
start to pull it,
and knowing kind of where they are. At a certain point, it's getting very, very close, and Lamont lets go, and TC on the other side, and the walls.
the momentum.
And finally, when the room is made a little more than maybe a 1/3 rotation, maybe a little more, halfway, almost 180 degrees, the break in the wall that once led to the outside, because there's a gap to the outside, that break finally lines up with a newly revealed little alcove here in the chamber. What's in there?
Let's find.
Inside, you see this little alcove and you think to yourself, that's more like it. There's an assortment of rib cages and vertebrae that have been artistically assembled to form a kind of shrine here. And it has the general appearance of two kind of skeletal wings spreading out from a central point. It's like sort of artistic in its kind of macabre kind of way. Cradled by these sort of bone feathers of each wing, and also one in the center where that sort of spinal column is, are three very impressive looking shields. They're all shields. There's three different shields that, if you had to guess, Fazalmec may have even spent some time cleaning and polishing them themselves. Unlike all the other equipment, they are spotless, shine to them, completely clean. One is slightly smaller in size, and it's emblazoned with a sort of colorful and painstakingly detailed depiction of an iris, like an eyeball, belonging to, it looks non-humanoid, like an animal's eye is sort of emblazoned on his shield. The one in the center is more oval in shape. It has a simple studded design, and it has dozens, if not hundreds, of tiny little indentations where it may have absorbed the impact of arrows, sling pellets, or glancing blows, like a very well-used shield. And the third, on the right, is a teardrop, almost like a kite shield shape, and it has a spiral pattern and a very small bluish crystal at the center of the pattern. As you're looking at it, there's one other thing that's a little unnerving about this little enclosure, which is that there appears to be the upper half of a human man anchored to the wall just above where the shields are. And he's cut off at the torso. So it's like from here up, and there's enough light coming in that you can see that his skin is tinted gray, and it's not just because of your dark vision. He's actually void of color completely. His skin is gray, his hair, what's left of his hair is gray, the colors of his eye is gray. And furthermore, he's somehow still alive, sort of, with his arms draped over the kind of bone wings below him. And you can see him kind of...
My gods.
Lamont?
This wasn't in the stories.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know, but I believe that man must have come from the wastes, I would imagine.
What's he doing? Why?
I don't know. He's moving, yes? You're seeing that too? He's
moving, it looks like twitching a little bit. Sort of.
Excuse me.
His head kind of rolling back and forth.
Can you hear us? Are you conscious?
Is Fazalmec dead?
Yes. As of a few hours ago.
I see. I suppose you are entitled then to his adytum.
What happened to you?
He found me gasping for breath at the southern end of the wastes. His blood magic gave me life, enough to cease the suffering. And in exchange, I have watched over his most prized possessions. With Fazalmec gone, you may take one. You may take more than one. But these bones and bucklers are infused with the blood magic that sustains me. Should you take a second, it would spell my end. And I would be forced to take you with me.
How long have you been here?
I don't know.
Do you consider what he's done for you a mercy?
Years from now, the wastes will slowly recover from their blight. And when they do, I can pass peacefully into the afterlife. If I die before then, tainted by this affliction, I will surely suffer eternal. I must wait for my time to come. So yes, a favor he has done me.
All right. Well, we're Well, we're not killing him.
And take one, and go.
Taking one will leave you as you are.
Yes.
And you
It'll do sustain me.
and you want to be left as you are.
I must.
Can you... May I impose? There's a chance that we're heading into the wastes ourselves. Is there anything you could tell us about it?
Don't go.
How did this happen to you? What struck you?
Just take your treasure and go.
There was a moment's hesitation there where, like, it seemed like maybe he wanted to say something, but it also felt a little fruitless, like pointless. Like he's a little defeated, you can tell, understandably, and he's sort of uninterested in sort of a prolonged conversation. He doesn't think you can help, so he doesn't want to have a big conversation about it. Sort of the impression that you get.
Did you tell us that you have somebody to meet out there?
Yeah.
I understand that someone resides out there. Someone a friend of ours wants to meet. How can they weather this?
It affects all differently.
Is there any way to hasten the Blight's recovery, or does it just need to take time?
Pray to the gods.
Yes, well... Yes. Is there... What can you tell us about these shields? Do you know anything about what they do? Or does Zalmic not?
Just take it
Okay.
and go.
Looking at these, do any of the symbols on these mean anything to me? Do any of these seem tied into anything I would know?
No, nothing beyond sort of the general impression that the sort of symbols give you. You know, there's one with an eye, which sort of, there's certain connotations around seeing and eyes, and there's a jewel-encrusted one, which, magic sometimes involves jewels and things, and then the one in the middle that has all the indentations looks protective, in some special way, but beyond that, nothing that sort of jumps out at you. Sort of guessing at it.
You use a shield. You do not use a shield. You use a shield.
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh. TC rests his
I
case.
know. I'm like, two would be real nice to add to the collection. Any strong feelings towards one or the other? That one in the middle is
The one looks sturdy.
giving me Doxley vibes.
Yes, I was thinking something along those lines myself. Perhaps we just...
Although this is your party here. I'll leave it up to you.
I don't care for spoils. I just wanted to see. I wanted to witness this. If you think that's going to help Doxley the most, then let's grab that one and go.
Sir, do you remember your name? Do you have any family?
Frederick Loring. My friends called me Red because of the red hair. But the hair's no longer red.
I feel like I can see it.
You would
A
be...
flowing red mane. Strong.
Yes.
So, if anybody else comes along and takes another one of these shields, that's over.
Yes. And I will take them with me.
Okay, well, we're not going to let that happen.
We will do what we can to stop that.
Yes.
Red will.
No.
If we find a way to help the wastes, we will.
Pray for me.
Yes, we will.
I'm gonna kind of start inching towards it. I'll look to you first, but I'll start inching towards that.
Yeah, I'll just like kind of hold my arm out for just a moment and just look around the room. Is there anything outside of the bones and the shields? Is there anything here that feels like it gives me a sense of Fazalmic? Anything about his history? Anything here outside of just what we've seen so far?
No, not really. Like, there isn't any sort of personal effects left behind, if that's what you're looking for. And I mean, the writings on the walls, it matches the writing on the letter, like that's his hand, but nothing that, if you're looking for sort of a piece of Fazalmic to take with you, that isn't so much here.
Okay. I mostly just want to make sure that I've seen everything.
Yeah. Give me a history check.
Ooh.
I don't use my strength for that, do I?
I honestly don't know.
No.
We might be past 10 minutes at this point, too. If you
It's an
started it
18.
before your walk, yeah, I would
It's an
say
18.
you're past 10 minutes. 18.
Nice.
I would say when you came in originally and some of the lesser objects were sort of stored near the front, rusty weapons, things like old armor, some of the tusks and ivory that were in the corner, trolls of this kind shed their tusks and grow new ones. So you think that maybe a couple of those tusks belong to Fazalmic, or at least one of the trolls that was sort of in his group there. So that's possible. That's a piece of him that might be left behind.
Are they artfully displayed as well? Or are they just kind
They
of...
were kind of scattered among the interior, yeah, not so much. I mean, that wouldn't be a prize to them. He might have had it and sort of discarded it, but
But it doesn't look like part of the, like...
No. That was earlier when
that
you
was
first
earlier.
coming in.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not part of the rib and
Yes.
vertebrae design that you're looking at now.
Okay. If I feel the limit passing, I think I'm going to try and hastily get out there, because I would like to get to the entrance before it's up, if possible.
Okay.
And on the way, if I could scoop up a tusk on the way,
Okay.
I think I would do so.
You're gonna grab the center shield there.
Eyeball, blue...
Eyeball on the left,
Eyeball.
sort of dented one in the middle, spiral with the jewel on the right there.
You know? Maybe the blue one. And I'm actually gonna go towards the one on the right.
The one with the sort of crystal in it,
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
spiral, sure. The sort of kite-shaped one, sort of teardrop shaped. Yeah.
Like, kind of, he's like right above me.
Yeah,
there.
he's like as you come up to it, you can look up. He's right above you there.
Jesus.
May the days fly by.
You sort of take it from its
Yeah.
little spot there, and it looked like it was hooked on, a piece of bone or something that was sort of jutting out of the wall. And as you sort of take it off, there's a little kind of gasp there, and a couple of his fingers fall off and sort of land on the floor there. So now it's sort of a stump at the wrist. But he doesn't seem like pained by that or anything. Like they just sort of
Still
fall
very
off.
matter of fact.
Yeah, they sort of fall there at your feet. You take the shield off.
Sling it. I suppose we should... Do you think that the rock at the door is enough, or should we re-obscure this with the trident?
It probably would be good to obscure it,
But what?
well, I just don't know how many things there are that'd be able to lift that rock.
Maybe let's just push it enough to obscure this opening.
So they don't even see the alcove.
Yes.
And then we take the trident with us.
Sure.
Yes.
Sort of reverse, do everything kind of in reverse.
Yeah.
Go back to the trident.
Just enough. Oh wait, no, to get
go to
out.
get out.
Out. You have to.
We
go
have
out.
to do it all the way.
You
back
have to
around.
rotate the
Yeah.
room.
Oh.
Oh my god, that's right.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
so never mind. So we gotta do that.
Yeah, we gotta do that.
So we take the trident with us and they can't.
Yeah.
Actually, that might be all we need to do. If the trident's not here, that might be all we need to do.
Maybe muss
Yeah.
up the blood card.
Sure. Yeah.
We'll talk about it when we get back.
Sort of everything back around, get up to the...
Take one last look at the guy, like.
Be well.
Stay strong.
And once again, sort of as the ruin comes back around, you sort of pass it off, pull it the other way. And slowly the opening comes back and the light kind of floods in from that front end there.
Can we just muss up the blood and maybe obscure the messaging?
Yes.
And take the trident?
Yes, I'll do my best.
Sure. You can take out like a little water skin if you sort of pour it on and sort of rub it. The lettering smears, so it's harder to read.
So they shouldn't have any way to get back in here at this point. If the other stuff doesn't scare them off, they should just dead end.
Right.
All right, let's
Get the fuck out of here.
Watch for the ruin. Watch for the mold.
Yes.
Back around, you get to the point, sort of the T, what you thought was a T juncture initially, and one last athletics check on your way out. You got to jump your way out here.
Let's go.
Is there
guys.
okay? Is it far enough that like some of the bigger things that we carried, like the halberd, can we kind of like try to like chuck those things across?
Sure,
if
yeah,
they're
you
not
could
weighing
toss some
us
things
down?
through.
Yeah, like
Yep, a couple of the larger
Like
items,
larger
toss
items.
outside. Yep.
Who's going first this time?
I'm gonna say the rage is gone here. At
Rage
this
is
point.
gone?
Yep.
Okay, that's fair. I don't need
Just
it.
straight athletics.
I don't need it. I like that. I like that attitude.
Side by side, old man's. It is. It's what kind of check?
Athletics check.
Athletics.
Yep. Just straight.
8.
12.
12. As you guys sort of one after the other, there's just TC ever so slightly brushes of one of the walls. There's a little bit of a puff Constitution saving throw.
Come on, you
Come on.
got
Or at
it.
least-
Only
You got
one.
it.
Big
At least
save,
I-
big
at least I'm
save.
Got
just
it.
as good at this as I am with the all rage.
Okay. 15.
Double save.
Ooh.
10.
That will fail. Okay, you're gonna take.
So I think I take
You don't
nothing
take
on that.
anything. Yep.
Nice.
You take 12 poison damage, and you are poisoned for 1 minute.
That's fair.
And while poisoned in this way, you take 1d10 poison damage at the start of each of your turns, and you keep making saves until you succeed one. So you sort of get out of it,
Yeah.
coughing up the yellow mold there, like a little bit of yellow sort of saliva. I'm gonna have you make another save right now. We'll just run through these as you guys are sort of heading back outside.
Gathering the things.
11.
That's
Wow.
You take another 4 poison. Give me another saving throw.
Yeah.
I'm there rubbing his back, like you can do it, buddy. You've got this.
Oh yeah.
Okay, 25.
That will do
Okay.
it. Jeez. You finally sort of get that mold out of your lungs. And you're back outside.
All right.
Feel the sun on you once more.
Not poison anymore. but-
Good. I needed you for the rock.
Well, yeah, about that rock. I'm little now. Without the trident, with all that stuff, I don't think they're going to be able to get in there.
Okay. Hopefully that blood scythe will keep anyone else from.
Well, do you have the crowbar on you?
Yes.
Can I... Maybe I can cause a little landslide and just cover up this entrance.
All right.
Thank you.
Are you trying to kind of make the sort of ceiling collapse a little bit to sort of cover it?
Yeah, I think like once we're outside, just try to like make the rocks above
Yeah,
like...
like climb up on top
Sure,
and
and sort
like.
of try and bash and pry it.
I'll go at it with a halberd to help
Both of you
him.
give me with advantage, sort of athletics checks as you just sort of smash at the general area.
19.
Great.
19.
Nice.
Eventually, with like some hard hits from the metal objects, a little bit of it cracks, and it doesn't create a perfect seal, but you see bits of it kind of fall into place. And unless something kind of came along and really went digging, I mean, it's decently obscured. So, and it has the advantage of having now sort of the same coloration as the rest of the rock, as opposed to having that tannish color. So that covers it up a little bit as well.
Thank you, TC. You come out okay? How...
Oh yes,
Are you hurt?
I didn't get too big a mouthful that time.
That's
Are you all right?
I've been better, but possibly more emotional damage than physical.
I think that'll stick in my mind's eye for quite a while.
Yes, it's quite a lot to think about. The irony is, as far as these things go, I think Fuzalmik was more or less a saint.
As magical blood-wielding trolls do, I suppose.
He didn't have to stop him from feeling pain. He had that
also
on
kind
himself.
of conscripted him for his own purposes.
But it stopped him from eternal suffering. Kept him alive, gave him employment.
Is that... Do you think that is all real?
The what? The blight? What he was saying about
The
it?
eternal damnation.
I don't have any reason to think it's not. Everybody seems pretty damn scared of that place.
No, I mean his specific...
His condition?
Yes.
There are a lot of tools that we will use to best people. Deceit is not one of them. If he gave Red these terms, then I believe those are the terms.
Well, how about this?
Yes?
Has your mind changed at all about our next steps?
About going into the wastes? I'm curious.
And about sharing what we heard with everyone else?
This information about what the Blight does? They should know. Yes. And my curiosity doesn't necessarily outrank Val's safety. This...
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I'm pretty damn sure.
Okay.
Are you wanting to go there? Did that not scare you away?
As I said, it's hard for me to believe a lot of these things.
Well, it's hard to believe a lot of the things that are happening in Brunkhollow.
All right. We'll share what we know.
Yes.
As you guys start to make your way back to where you sort of have a general idea of where they were scouting out a little campsite. That's where we're going to take a little break.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Well done in the adytum. You found your way to the spoils.
Are you guys messed up?
I'm pretty messed up.
You're pretty messed up?
I'm pretty messed up.
Pretty messed up.
I mean, you still have a healing surge, right? You can get like
Yeah.
4 hit dice.
I was like, I don't need a short rest. Now I do.
Oh.
A potion and a healing surge won't get you back in the fight.
Won't bring you back a rage.
Isn't that what you took durable for?
Yeah. Yeah.
How many rages do you have?
We'll figure it out on the other side.
yeah.
Stick around, do your Brunkhollow Powerball as always, and then we'll jump back in.
Oh, yeah.
We'll head north.
Bye.
Think about becoming a YouTube member. If you do, you'll get access to moments like this.
Don't say zip line.
Accessory-related items.
All right.
Greek people wear this.
Toga.
You in bed to get pegged, you wear blank on.
A strap.
Yes. Okay. Pass.
I believe in you.
Okay. First part of the word is pat. Yes, and then keep going. What? How do I?
You locked in on strap, man. You locked in. I was like,
Anthony's my partner.
You saw Strap and you're like, I know what I have to do.
We can get you access to Notch and Soda, but not for free. You have to pay for it.
Welcome back, everybody, to Chapter 57 of Brunkhollow. Taking a brief detour to find what was hidden in Fazalmic's adytum. Uncovered a number of items, including a little secret compartment that housed a friendly guy and a few shields. One of which...
Oh, friendly.
He was pretty nice, all things
We're
considered.
gonna leave a
Very welcoming.
Yelp
He
review.
was friendly, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just also really fucked up.
The adytum knife, 5 stars.
Adytum height 5 stars.
And we're going to return to the scene of the crime, but...
Brand the Dino resubscribed, Hopeful Optimus resubscribed, Master Duck resubscribed, Low Brass Guy did 30 bits, Today Tree resubscribed, Blast Hazard resubscribed, Kel Drummer resubscribed, Odovin resubscribed, Pokodogro, our wonderful mod resubscribed, Yassine resubscribed, Jerry WK resubscribed. Thank you all very, very much.
So
if you have an
much.
Amazon Prime
Big
account, you
cheese.
can
So much
subscribe to us for free.
Oh, free and easy and fun.
Yeah.
And if you want to learn what made the Notch and Soda so unhinged, sub it up,
And
check
watch
it
it
out.
We're gonna share that frosé recipe.
Yes.
It's just rosé. All the rosé in the world.
Freeze it up.
As you guys are sort of finishing up your short rest, you start to hear some footsteps and sort of on guard a little bit in a moment, but then you recognize a little bit of the sound, and coming through the trees a little bit further to the east is both Lamont and TC, who are carrying a few extra larger items with them that they not part with initially.
I see him, loot in tow.
Yes, and a large weapon in TC's hand.
And at that, Doxley looks up.
Bella's gonna hop down from the tree.
Large weapon in his hand.
Yes, there you go.
How many more weapons can you carry, Il?
If I want that one, I might have to leave something.
Oh, God.
For another traveler, I don't know, we'll see.
All right, well, we're back.
Yes.
Found a couple things in there. Also,
Nice.
got some interesting information that may be pertinent to our next steps.
Great.
But for now, I'll take the halberd and like stick it on the ground there.
She is beautiful.
And I'll take the shield off and kind of show it out.
Wow.
And also stick that in the ground. Spoils.
Yep. I'm gonna also stick the trident in the ground. Just like,
Wow.
ignore the blood. It's not ours.
Are you sure? Because you're covered.
Yeah.
Also not ours.
Oh, just a little leftover magic.
There were indeed booby traps.
Are you all right?
I've been better, but I'll be fine.
Just fine.
I'm assuming there's not more where that came from. That's all you could carry.
This is really the extent of what we...
We grabbed
That's a good.
we grabbed everything that was
Sack of loot.
usable. There was a lot of broken armor and the like.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
This was everything usable.
Nothing as triumphant as this.
Of course.
Yes. How
Does
could
anybody
anything be?
does anybody have a particular affinity for crowbars?
I thought you had an affinity for crowbars.
One of them did. We did save us in a pinch at one point, but I think I'll be okay with that.
I'll stick it in a pack. I like.
all right.
Take a
You
crowbar.
can always throw a crowbar at someone.
I suppose
it at
good.
Is that what those are for? That's what I use them for.
Thank you.
Who wants the trident? Do you want the trident?
Yes, I do.
Does it kind of fit in like a spear
you go.
bag? Like,
My sister.
I mean, javelins are shorter than a trident, but she could sling it over.
It's been a long time
It's
coming.
not
I've always wanted one of these.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh well. Happy birthday. Do you do presents for birthdays here? I don't.
Sure.
Sounds
Present,
okay.
but it doesn't have to be my birthday if you want to give me something too, something else. Just
got a
anytime you want to
crowbar,
give me
guy.
something. I know.
Well, I gave you a crowbar.
So happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I imagine the shield, as our resident shielder of all things horrible and damaging,
Doxy's like twirling the trident in her hands.
and it matches your skin tone with its gem.
Quite astute.
It does match my skin tone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'll say this. There's probably some properties to this that we might have to go back to that gnome to find out. So
Wow.
be careful with it. I would not be surprised if this has...
If I was able to study it during a long rest or a short rest, would I be able to figure out what it is? No.
Yeah, not versed enough in magic items in
Fair
general.
enough.
I mean,
But it would work as a good shield for now.
Yeah,
even
I mean,
without
it's quite
it.
Yeah,
Pretty
I
sure
would just have it on.
it would
Wouldn't have to.
just by the bare fact that I've picked it up and carried it, it wouldn't curse you just by wielding it.
No, 'cause that usually is not how curses. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily know the minutia of it, but you have to attune to it.
Okay.
Sort of generally.
So,
And you didn't fully check it. Maybe there's a button on it, something that'll turn, and make it do something.
button like a button on a vestment,
Yeah, or like a little thingy.
like a thingy.
Yeah, like a
I
mechanism.
didn't see any mechanism thingies on it.
The backside, if you look to the interior part of the shield, there's nothing
Okay.
about it that's great.
I
believe
think
it's
we'll have
that-
to take it to that gnome.
That it's the blue part.
May I?
Please.
May I?
How's the weight of it?
She's gonna donk the trident a
It has a
little.
little more heft to it, slightly larger than your previous shield, but still very much sort of fits on the one arm.
Wow.
Thank you. This is pretty sweet.
All new gear. Trident shield. Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
this is pretty cool.
Pretty cool. All right.
I think you would have gotten along very well with those if we had made friends instead of
Oh
corpses.
yeah, no, truly.
I think Lamont did his best to make friends with him, and they wanted to fight, so.
Well,
I think it is a form of friendship that he shared with us.
In a sense, that was probably the closest bond I could have formed with them.
Fair enough.
There's quite a lot that you just communicate through violence when it comes to those sorts of people.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Oh, we've also got a little update.
Please.
We're starting to lean maybe towards the Faded West.
I'm not sure I said that.
I don't think I said that either.
Are you sure?
I
you
think I
didn't
said
say-
we would discuss.
Which coming
when-
from you is a great success, Val.
Well, you complimented me, so now I'm,
Amy.
more agreeable.
sure.
But I did say that we should discuss when they're back, and they're back. So
Yeah,
Maybe-
let's discuss.
Also, just there's some tigers around. Just be watching for those big.
I've already
saber-tooth
dropped
tigers.
some urine.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's very
So did
helpful.
TC.
You caught that on the way out, did you? Yes. Just a wee patch by the front door.
Anyway, I feel like if we're getting asked to die for something, we ought to know what the fuck it is before we go. So if you want us to go through the waste, Illien, you need to tell us what's going on.
If I want to go, well, yes, I want us to, but that's the fastest route, isn't it? Why wouldn't we all want to go get to?
Yeah,
This
I wouldn't
is
say that
creature.
explicitly, Illien,
told
by the
that we are
piggy
going through the
boys
Faded West.
to
also
not
the
go
shortest
through the-
travel.
Piggy boys were told not to go through the faded waste.
About how much daylight do we have left?
It's probably, between 3 and 4. You've got another 3 hours?
3
4
hours?
hours? Yeah, before it starts to, like you said.
Okay,
I'm all for going quick, but I'd like to go alive.
True.
that's fair.
But
Well-
I told you I have a friend that doesn't know I'm his friend yet. But they're my friend.
I
yet.
need
don't
more
know who they
fucking
are.
details, Illien.
That's about all I know about this person.
What?
There's a person
Why are you meeting this friend?
to give him a thing.
What thing?
A little box in my bag.
A box full of what?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know, but it's. Do you know? Is this important? It's that important you need to know everything?
Yes!
Okay, great. You
If
know.
we're being asked to go the most dangerous route, I want to know why the fuck we're doing it. It isn't just because it's fastest.
I was about to share what I know, but now I'm thinking about it, and I don't know if this person would want everyone to know. So
Tough
I'm trying
titties,
to think.
Then.
What do you mean, tough titties? No.
That's what it sounds like.
I have a box I need to deliver to someone as a favor to someone else, and that this person might be able to help us get through the waste. They're apparently brilliant, a brilliant mind.
Who gave you the box?
I feel like it's probably not terrible for me to tell you, but I don't know for sure.
I'm gonna vote no then.
Did the person who gave you the box say, please don't tell anyone about it?
I don't think so. But yeah, no, I don't think so. And no, I don't know what's in the box, and so I can't share that with you, and we can't open it, so don't even ask. It's Maeve.
This cell
Maeve
is-
is who I'm going there for.
Fuck
Oh, Maeve.
sake.
All right.
I told you, and you're still mad.
So wait, Maeve isn't knowingly sending you into this area with a box to deliver to somebody?
She's okay. She said if you go, which is like I understand if you don't, because it's crazy. But if you do, take this box because there's a person that could use this.
It's not making a lot of compelling arguments.
Yeah.
There's a person that could use this, and it's very important to Kate, which is important to you guys. This is very important for Kate, and this person's brilliant. I don't know. They probably will have a way for us to get through the waste if we talk to them, and they're nice.
Well,
Somehow, even with the extra information, it was less
That's all I know.
compelling.
You guys wanted answers, and that's all I know.
we've also got some information as well. We made a little waste friend of our own while we were in the adytum.
What does that mean?
Fantastic. And
There was a man being held captive in there
Oh, God.
who,
Ah,
yes.
I feel like you're already getting off on that. He wasn't a captive so much as he was
Unable to leave?
unable to leave. But he was happy to be there.
He was happy to be there. I don't mean to cast aspersions on Fazalmik. This man, he had come from the waste. He was gray. The color had been drained out of his hair. And the way that he spoke of it, essentially, if he died before the blight upon the waste ends, then he would suffer eternally, is what he told us.
And for Zalmik, using blood magic has given him a sort of half-life, watching over his spoils.
Okay, well maybe we go back and talk to him. Maybe he doesn't know that I know someone there. Maybe he knows someone there.
We asked all that we could.
We tried to get as much as we could out of him. He wasn't up for much discussion.
There was a man just living in a cave?
As
a
I
gray
say,
man?
A gray man, well,
A
and it was
half-life
only
of sorts.
half of, it was also half of a man
Oh,
by that point.
gods.
Half man, half what?
He'd had half his body torn off. It was only a torso,
Oh.
but he was still alive. So,
He was still alive?
he was still alive.
Half a body and he was still living?
Yeah, so whatever's going on in the
What
waste
happened?
is what...
That is okay.
Okay.
That wasn't all just blood magic. That's... seems to be the...
He would have died of natural waste causes, but is kept alive by blood magic.
Oh, okay.
But he said if he had died of the waste causes, he would have been eternally damned?
It is his belief. That's
true.
Yes.
It seemed like that was more like his spiritual speculation, not
Yes.
like he knew he had
Yes.
something that would eternally do.
That is not a hard and fast rule, as I took it.
I'm
His
just as
belief.
likely to be cut or bitten in half by a wyvern than as whatever's in the waste.
Not according to, what were their names, Lex and Tav?
Yeah.
I'll say
They're
this.
both dangerous.
To some degree, the wastes seemed more dangerous as a question mark, but I feel like it has almost become more clear to us what it is, and I feel like we have just as much information as we do about the others, and that question mark has gone away, and they are all equally dangerous in my mind.
And in this route, there's a potential boon in this person.
There's an ally, you're saying.
Yes, and a fast route.
Do you think there's something that... True, it is faster. About how much faster do we recall?
I don't know.
Nobody was
just
terribly
the
specific
fastest.
on it.
No.
Also,
Fair.
let me
Perhaps
just make
we
the
would-
argument for the faded wastes also that if we take the Wyvern Pass, whatever that one was called, the Tigers or whatever,
Rising Tiger.
the Rising Tiger, we'd be probably entering into some combat with some significant beasts, and I'm not looking forward to using all of the materials that we would need to survive those combats for what we were hoping to use if something goes south with this preacher fella.
Really what it is it's the devil you know, the devil you don't. We think we know pretty well what we can expect from fighting a bunch of wyverns, but nobody's really able to give us a sense on what we might end up fighting in the wastes, if we fight anything.
We also the wastes might get us there before sundown.
That's fair.
And we would
can
get another rest in before possibly doing something at night.
Yes.
Can I look at the sky and just do a weather check? Does it seem like we may have inclement weather?
It doesn't. It seems quite clear.
Doesn't it all?
Yeah. You don't see
Okay.
anything like that on the horizon. The day has been very agreeable thus far, weather-wise.
Okay.
We're.
Listen,
Yep, go for it.
I feel very strongly about the waste. And like I said, I'm gonna be there on the way there or on the way back. And if there's a potential success story happening going first because of this person, I think that's the stronger time to go.
Do you think there's odds that we
friends.
gain something from doing this?
Well, yeah, selfishly, I think I will gain a lot from this.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
we
we'll
as
have
a
to
group,
sleep outside of Maves. Maybe you'll sleep inside of Maves.
I'm not interested in that.
Go on. Let's vote, I think.
I'm wastes.
Wastes.
100% waste.
Wastes.
That's 3. We need one more for a majority vote, folks.
That means it's going to be a draw if nothing else.
Wyverns then. Tigers? Raise on that.
All right, I'll go waste.
Gonna check.
Great. Sorry. This sounds like that's the vote.
As cagey as and as insincere as he may sound, he means it.
No, the wastes make sense.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Can I grab any old leaf on the ground?
sure.
and I'm going to, just as long as I know it's safe to eat.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, there's some like they're not gonna taste good, but
I'm
yeah.
gonna
safe
say,
to eat.
hey, eat this.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna touch his shoulder and cast Cure Wounds on him as he eats it.
A little diversion.
Yeah.
Oh, kale truly is a superfood.
So that one is now 2d8.
Wow.
Okay.
So let's see.
And upcastable. We don't.
You know what? Let's do it.
You want to burn a big one?
Not this early, I don't think.
Okay.
Level.
I could do a level 3, I guess.
Level 3, that's 60.
That's the
That's not a
top.
big one?
right?
Well, I'm just gonna do one. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Hey, it's more HP than I got.
Wow.
Oh my god!
15.
All right, yeah, that's.
Oh, level 1 Cure Wounds goes hard now.
That's hard. Yeah, that's why I was like,
That's almost as good as toffee.
All right, so if we're doing the faded waste, we take precautions. We should probably get a rope. We've got several. And maybe tie ourselves all together in case the fog is so thick.
Use
we
some of the
lose each
climbing
other.
kits, yes,
I think-
to tether each to the other.
Yeah.
And perhaps we have 2 bottled breaths.
Yes.
We have 2.
Maybe the front person in the rear most.
I was gonna say that, or the front and then the fourth, like the little caterpillar.
Okay.
Bop, bop, bop,
Yeah, I would
bop, bop, bop.
I would give the bottle to someone else. I am fine with taking lead, but I also feel like I can hold my breath quite well.
Hold my breath. I don't get sick often either.
Yeah, just apparently when you smell blood.
You just vomited like 8 times.
Okay, well,
brother.
that was disgusting.
Sure, blood is going to set you off, but you'll just spread urine all over the place.
Sure.
Alright, second and fourth in line will get the bottled breath.
Great.
I can go first.
Well, I
Start getting
somewhere
on some rope.
where I can.
We're not on the edges of the waist yet. Okay. Tie yourself
You're
to me
still
now.
at like the fork.
I'm not gonna lie. We should maybe Doxley go first.
Is she good at
You-
scouting?
Well, no. Well, I mean, no, her sorry about that. But she
she's
has a
quite bad.
big shield, big armor. If anything were to come at us.
I was actually gonna suggest taking up the rear for that exact.
Oh, okay.
purpose.
Great.
Because I'm not as good at scouting.
I think we'd want a good navigator in the front.
Sure.
Yes, good navigator in the front. I also may be able to help. We're worried about the fog rolling in. Got some old Fey tricks up my sleeve that may
Fey tricks.
help. Yes.
It's exciting.
We got those too.
Yes.
No.
Well, why don't you go second
Fey
then
tricks,
after
yeah.
Annabelle?
Sure, then I can help just in case.
All right.
Great.
Shall we? Daylight is burning.
Yes.
Yes, let's move quickly.
I'm really glad we came to a consensus.
Oh yeah.
And
we
we're
came
all
to a
as one
fucking
mind.
consensus.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and
I'm sorry. Maybe I misread the energy here.
frankly, my favorite elections are the ones where I don't have to vote.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
He's in the back like.
All right.
Ron's had a few of those.
Oh, I might have helped. Oh.
Oh my god.
Break from camp. And you start to take some final steps toward that little fork where the rivers merge. You look into the distance and you sort of hope to glean some last-minute bit of wisdom from what's visible on the horizon. But for now, it's just rocky banks, bunches of trees. To the left, where the faded wastes are, there's no faded discoloration that you can see from here. Down the middle, there's no landslides, no quicksand. And to the right, no circling wyverns above the treetops. You imagine you'd have to progress a little further upriver along one of these paths to get to some of these designated areas. But this is the time to commit. So you take one last look at these really breathtaking views here where the rivers all come together. And you brace yourself for what's next. The first thing you have to do, because you're on the eastern bank and you want to head toward the waste, is you do need to take one of those little sort of rope bridges across the river. So you go back downriver just 50 feet or so and you find one of those ropes, sort of make sure that it's sturdy, pull on it there, make sure that the tree's not going to come apart. You look to your companions and there's it's not perfectly flat stepping stones, but stones that you can walk to, and with the help of the sort of taut rope, you can sort of slowly work your way across. Whenever you
I
do.
can,
Sorry, Matt.
Yeah.
I totally forgot I was gonna say this. Could I have taken the halberd and planted it near where the fork is? So if we come back this way, maybe I could swing by and grab it, in the ground.
Sure.
Okay, great. There's a little post by that fork.
so how high up is the bridge?
So it's not really a bridge, and
Okay.
it's just a rope that's stretching across the water because
Oh,
it's
it's like a
anchored to
tightrope.
one tree. You could tightrope walk it. It looks like the purpose was to hold the rope while you walk across
Got
the
it,
rocks,
got
just to
it.
make sure that if you do start to fall, you have something to pull yourself back.
Got
Yeah,
it.
if you want to be impressive and
I
cool,
might
I mean,
tightrope.
it looks like you could. It just
slackline it.
so this sort of river there. You guys are all standing on the eastern bank, looking to walk to the western bank.
All right. Should we practice our ordering? Do you want to go first, Annabel?
Sure.
All right. Who's second? I'll be right behind you.
I
You want to?
was gonna say I can do it.
Okay, go for it.
Alright.
I'll go third.
I'll bring up the rear.
Oh,
Oh,
4? I'll be 4?
Sure.
Great.
Alright.
Athletics or acrobatics for every one of you.
What's the worst that could happen?
oh, that's right.
14?
11.
13.
21.
15.
How does one tell the difference between a 9 and a 6? That's a 9,
That's a 9.
right? 16.
16. With the help of the rope, sometimes the stones, because they're not perfectly level and they're being splashed with water constantly, there's a couple sort of slips, but when that happens, the people sort of on opposite sides of that person can hold the rope tight and make sure, sort of bring him back, get back to the rocks. Slowly, sort of almost like caterpillaring, kind of waiting for one person to go ahead, then the next person, then the next person. One at a time, you guys make your way to the western bank. When the last set of boots safely touch down on the opposite side, you look to each other and give a little nod, ready to branch off, follow a new stream upriver, to a land that you've been cautioned against by entering into this area by a couple of reliable sources, and yet still, you have to admit that since arriving in Brunkhollow, you've done a lot of things that other people cautioned against, sometimes things that even people begged or pleaded for you not to do, and yet here you are. As you'd expect, the tributary that you're following now, it's narrower and less violent than the primary run of the Petlonial Sphere. So much so that you probably could wade through it at some points, sort of where some of the shallower stretches are. It wouldn't be easy, and you might get sort of knocked down, but it's nice to not feel like there's this impassable wall of water on the side that if you had to run, you could sort of dash into the water if you needed to. The boring blocks of travel have come in bunches, and it seems like this is one. The foliage and the flora around you are still as vibrant as ever, so you imagine you're not imminently about to wander into the wastes. Any animal activity is limited to smaller creatures, herbivores that aren't a threat to impede your progress. And you don't want to be lulled into a false sense of security, but the scenery is nice, the weather's fair, and you don't mind a bit of boring. You guys are kind of walking along there, slowly but steadily making progress. Annabel, you feel some of that sort of almost like an itch at the back, just like when you were resting there, and just something about the way the demi-hag kind of touched your mind in a way just keeps coming back to you, like again, like almost like a dream while you're awake, like bits of magic seeping in, and they're not unwelcome, but they're also intrusive. Like they feel foreign, but at the same time, it's not a painful feeling, but some magic sort of seeping into you that almost like a sorcerer would feel like innately, like it's coming to you in a way that isn't how you've learned as a wizard. You've studied and you've learned from some of the illicit books that you've picked up, but this is something different, something that's sort of put into your mind, which is a different feeling. Give me an Arcana check.
14.
14. As you're walking along this path, you just feel that itch,
Ooh.
itch, itch. And something enters into your mind, just like some of the new magic that's at your fingertips. And this time, the thing that enters your mind is, she's been here recently.
What?
Sort of looking around. Not like, within the past, but like, she's walked this, like as you're walking along, you almost feel like you can hear her footsteps alongside you, like, you can tell that she's been here.
Oh my god.
Even though there's nothing to see, but you just have that feeling.
Okay.
Another 30, 45 minutes go by. More walking. And eventually, some minor oddities begin to crop up. And it's very, very subtle at first. You easily could have missed some along the way, but over here there's a fern with one of the fronds kind of a pale green, while the rest are very lush and vivid. You watch a bird fly overhead that has the markings and shape of a cardinal, but feathers that look like they took a dust bath in a bowl of ash. And there's a deer that kind of hops along, and one of its eyes is gray with no separation of color between the pupil, the iris, and sort of the sclera, the white part of the eye. Just little things. They seem to be unimpeded.
Alive?
Yeah, they don't seem to be like moving or flying erratically, just little touches of something, almost like the color was just sort of drained from a few spots. These are things that if you hadn't received an advanced scouting report of kind of what the wastes you might see or what they're all about, you never would have noticed these things. Like, they go by so quickly that you wouldn't have even thought about it. But your current level of vigilance and maybe a little bit of paranoia has brought these things to your attention. You weren't totally sure how abrupt the transition to the wastes would be, and you're not sure that this answers your question, but it does seem like there are degrees of affliction. Certainly for Lamont and TC, who went into the adytum, whatever pestilence was unleashed, it affected some things more than others. Some things were greatly affected, some things just a little bit of something. So not everything's affected the same way, and you're not sure what sort of determined that, whether it's sort of stepping foot in there or whether you had to be there when the event took place. It's hard to tell, but as you watch some of these creatures and plants that are slightly tainted in some way, you can see that it doesn't seem to be necessarily a sort of permanent affliction or a death sentence, or it just has little effects that manifest in different ways. Mm-hmm. For most of you, it's just a little thing here or there, a little strange tint, a little desaturation. But for TC, you increasingly get the sense that there's something that you're not seeing. You'll catch what seems to be like an inconsistency down by your feet, but you'll turn your head and you'll just see one of your companions' sort of cloaks flapping in the breeze as it's moving through. But you're not totally convinced that that was the source of the oddity. Give me a perception check.
Come on, buddy. Come on.
Let's go.
Reliable talent.
Perception, 19.
That happens a couple times where you sort of look down and you thought there was something there, but then nothing.
Any sensation of touch, it's all
It's visual to this
it's all
point,
visual.
Yeah. A couple more times that happens, and the final time your companions even sort of are taken aback a little bit because you almost try to like catch it in the like you whip around, you try to sort of
Jeez.
by surprise.
Oh yeah, you're the only one behind me. Right?
Yeah, so Doxley sort of sees you kind of whip around really quickly.
You didn't see that just there.
Whoa.
I swear,
What's going on, TC?
there's something.
Everything all right?
Do we need to get the rope out?
Maybe we should. Yes.
I got some climbers kits on me.
Yeah, everyone rope off.
I'll
Can
take
we-
out one of the climbers kits and
Same, I have one.
Okay.
Just
Keep your hands free. Maybe loop it to something on your person or something.
I think while that's happening, can I just quietly, just kind of like mutter under my breath and just make a little gesture and cast Druidcraft?
Sure. What do you?
I want to create a sensory effect to read the weather over the next 24 hours, and I want to see, what does this thing look like to me? Does it feel like I should be able... What I'm trying to figure out basically is, do the weather readings seem normal? And do I think I'll be able to use it to try and read the fog?
Give me the description of it. Just
Okay, so for this one, weather sensor, you create a tiny, harmless sensory effect that predicts what the weather will be at your location for the next 24 hours. The effect might manifest as a golden orb for clear skies, a cloud for rain, falling snowflakes for snow, and so on. Lasts for a round.
As you sort of focus and open your hand, a little sort of orb appears there. And it's clear. It looks like sort of a sort of fully transparent little marble there that hovers in the air for a moment. And then it appears again. So for the next 24 hours in this area that you're currently in, the weather seems quite fine, quite clear. It's not, if you were looking for sort of really specific, it's not super specific. It seems to be sort of a little bit of instinct and omen rather than sort of rather detailed.
Yeah, like I'm mostly just trying to read. Hey, is it coming out as weird fog?
I mean, you don't get a weird fog sense from your current casting of the druid.
Do I see Lamont do that?
Yeah, do I as well?
Give me a perception check. Good. You guys give me a perception check. He's ahead of both of you, yes.
No, he's right behind
He's
me.
right behind you. Make it with disadvantage.
Me?
If he's behind you, make it with disadvantage, yeah.
While people are roping off, I'm gonna take like 10 seconds to actually just kind of sit down and like close my eyes and just like try to feel if I can.
Sure, we'll get to that in a second.
9.
15. I would say you caught like a little bit of like quiet to himself kind of muttering. I think maybe he turned a little bit so you couldn't see the little orb sort of appear and disappear, but you did get the sense that, because you know what you know, it looked like he was doing a little something, and that could be a range of things, but and then you saw something kind of appear in his hand, and then he kind of closed his hand, and it was hard to tell exactly what it was. You're not like, whoa, that was magic, yeah, but it looked like a little, even honestly, if it was closer to his neck, you might even think he was holding like a necklace or something, like a little bauble kind of appears in his hand and then disappears, almost like he sort of closes his fist. As TC sort of sits to the ground there, and people are moving around, but you can hear people sort of tying ropes, sort of pulling things through little loops and stuff just to make sure they're all sort of together. I would like you to give me an animal handling check.
What?
Yo.
Okay.
It's a spirit animal.
19.
As you sit there with your eyes closed, you feel like you see something, and with sort of a newly cultivated skill that you've been working on, you watch as something is kind of poking in and out of the periphery of your blind sight vision that you have. And something sort of takes a step and then a step back, but you stay as still as you possibly can, and sort of sensing a little bit of a lack of threat. You watch as, sort of in your mind's eye, the outline of a creature's size and shape, and you perceive it to be, through its invisibility, which you sort of surmised perhaps, you see a vulpine creature, a sort of medium-sized fox-like creature, entirely gray fur except for a brownish red streak that kind of runs down the length of its body all the way from the snout to the tip of the tail.
How?
And its eyes are very intensely orange. But the rest of it kind of has an off-putting combination of being sort of plump and also emaciated.
Oh.
Its body and neck are round and stout and healthy, while the closer you get to the extremities, its legs, its tail, its ears, its snout, the more shrunken and kind of withered they are. Like its little feet are like very delicate, like they barely look like they can hold the creature up. In some places, the bone is very close to the skin, like it looks like there's no kind of fat on the animal at all. It's as if when it feeds, the body isn't distributing the nutrients properly throughout its body. It's kind of wasting away a little bit. And it's sort of slowly, first you see like the little nose and then the ears, and then as it creeps forward. And it's still invisible at this point. Like,
does it seem like it's interested or looking at anything in particular, or is it like me in general?
It seems like less interested in you, as it kind of like you watch its snout sort of poke towards your knapsack, and then maybe kind of up towards a couple other people's knapsacks as they're tying things up.
As slowly as I can, and really, it's kind of off to the side. I'm maybe not looking.
Yeah, maybe back
at
to your left.
Okay.
Sort of 10 feet away, because that's sort of the outer radius of your blind sight.
I'm gonna hold up a couple of fingers, like, so that if Doxley, keeps coming up towards me, I'm gonna give like a hold. I'm gonna give like a hold symbol, and I'm gonna like reach into my bag and take out something from my rations, like a jerky or a hardtack or something, and just kind of like hold it out and back.
Comes forward a couple steps. You watch its ears kind of moving around, and it comes all the way up to the little sort of rations that you have in your hand, and it sniffs, and then backs up a couple. It seems uninterested in that.
Okay. I'm gonna try one more item.
Crowbar.
Oh God.
Bonk. This is so stupid.
to take out a vial with an eyeball inside. Just a little. I don't even know the nature of this thing really, but it's just a interesting.
This from
from the
well
tent,
or something?
you know,
From the
Bellamy.
from Bellamy's tent,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just gonna kind of like pop the top off and also just kind of hold that out.
As you do that, you sense that its ears kind of perk up, and it takes a couple like quick steps to you,
Yeah.
and it almost kind of sticks its nose right up to the vial, and then seems like disappointed. And then it like goes out of your blind sight vision, so you
Yeah.
can no longer see it.
Cork that back up and put it in.
And give me a perception check.
19.
You look sort of trying to stay still.
Yeah.
You look sort of off to where you saw it initially.
Yeah.
And in the kind of tall grasses off to your back left, you can see a little bit of like
though
where
it's
the
gone
creature
pretty far now.
20,
Oh,
20
okay.
25 feet or that way.
Okay.
And then like the grass is like it's maybe kind of coming back.
Okay.
And you wait. And you see the face kind of poke back in. And in its mouth, it seems to have kind of brought something back from the tall grasses. And in its mouth is what looks like a mostly chewed foot. Like a creature's foot. Like a humanoid foot.
Oh.
And it's been chewed mostly down to the bone. Like it's mostly the bones of a foot.
Okay.
With like a tiny bit of skin or meat back on it. And what little bit of skin is left on the foot is very faded gray in color. And it sort of puts it down and then like chews off the last little bit.
Folks,
Yep.
I have a very small detour.
Ooh, do I have to untie myself?
No,
Okay.
follow me, but everyone just step lightly. I'll try to explain myself as best I can. And I'm gonna kind of lead us in that direction.
Everybody give me perception checks if you're fine to use these.
Yeah, I'll be a dummy.
You can give me a
Follow
perception.
him.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Damn it. 19 again.
6.
17.
24.
22.
Natural 1.
Okay, Illien and Annabel sort of, I think you guys were a little closer to the front there, and maybe you just, everyone kind of quickly moved over. You guys held back just a little bit, and you pick up on first what sounds like a, in the distance, like a thumping, and also like a rustling of bushes or trees out in the distance. Like in the direction that TC's walking, but much further, like well into the forest, into the woods.
Got it.
Thumping, as in, sounded pretty large.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, like footsteps, but like heavy footsteps. Yeah.
This creature left and came back quickly enough that it wouldn't have been as far as the tree line.
No, it
Okay.
did not go all the way. It almost certainly did not
Yeah,
go all the
okay.
way to the tree line.
All right.
I look at Annabelle, seeing that you hung back a little bit. I'm not making that up, am I?
No.
There's some thumping, guys.
TC heard the large banging noises?
No, this, whatever it is much closer than the trees.
As you sort of hear that and take a couple steps, the fox that's been kind of walking alongside you with the bones kind of in its mouth, you watch its ears sort of perk, and it looks kind of off into the tree line, which draws your attention. And you start to see what at first appears kind of like humanoid figures, but actually a little bulkier. And they transition from 2 to 4 limbs sometimes. And they seem sort of ape-like or gorilla-like in shape. And they look like they're searching, like they...
Yeah, that's the thumping.
Actually, let's
You hear
maybe
more
get
of that.
away from this spot. I think there's a body in the grass here. There's a body, maybe the rest of Red, but
Okay.
we should move on.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
The fox follows you as you move, as you
Okay.
start to move northward a little bit. Like it
Okay.
still has the foot in its mouth, and
It was kind of wary of the sound way that the sound comes.
I mean, it picked up on that right away. Yep.
But he seems okay to go the way that we're going.
Okay. Is.
Yeah.
Okay. All the way.
All right.
Let's try to make some moves.
I feel a guiding presence.
Okay.
Okay?
Let's go.
All right.
We'll talk about what red even, I don't know what that means, but we'll talk about that later.
Our half friends from the cave.
Yes, Red is
okay.
the.
Got it.
Are we still roping ourselves
Yeah,
off.
we did that.
Yeah. It's through my
In
belt.
what way are you guys just like making sure you're holding the rope? Are you actually tying it to each other?
I want to just hold.
Holding seems best for right now.
Put mine through my belt loop so that I can hold my weapon still.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna attach it
Sure.
physically.
You can put it through a belt.
Carabiner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carabiner it.
I'll attach fully to you.
Right.
I'm right at the
So
foot.
you guys walk sort of quickly. You sort of each have the rope sort of at least holding or in some way looped through, not necessarily tied. You're sort of making quick. And the fox sort of walks along and then sort of sometimes stops and perks up and sort of looks off into the distance. And each time it does, you sort of give a look back and you can see those apes are like kind of walking still in the tree line, like a little bit ways away, but trailing you. And the longer you walk, the more they kind of... It seems like they can sense something. And the fox sort of stops and looks.
The fox doesn't
Stops
still
and
have the
looks.
foot, does it?
It has. It's been carrying it the whole time.
All right.
Try.
I'm gonna.
Bad fox.
Let me try something real quick, and I'm gonna kind of get down on one knee, and I'm gonna like put a hand out.
Give me an animal handling check.
Comes over to me. Oh my god.
What are you doing?
She's slowing us up. They're catching us.
14.
It comes right back. As soon as you reach for it, it ducks back and it almost walks far enough away that it starts to disappear out of your sort of blind sight there. It's like on the edge of that 10-foot radius.
There.
And a little more.
TC, we gotta go.
You're gonna scare it off. And I'm gonna like right kind of where it was. I'm gonna like not a loud noise, but I'm gonna make like a quick movement as though I'm gonna attack it like and like try to scare it.
Okay,
See
give
if
me an intimidation check.
Something's already getting in his head.
Natural 1.
Just as you do that, you're sort of about to sort of give it a sort of jolt. There's in the distance, there's like pounding in the chest, and that sort of captures the fox's attention, and it quickly sort of circles around so that it interposes you between where the apes are there in the tree line.
Yeah.
The two apes, giant apes,
TC,
immediately sort of come up to the
on
tree line. They're now like 50, 75 feet away, but they stop. And they're kind of looking, and they look like they're kind of searching for something. They're not looking directly at you.
Everyone stay still.
And as you're there, you can sort of get the impression that these apes, while physically very imposing, and where they feel like maybe they could take you one-on-one, they see a whole group of people, and you can see it in their eyes that they're sort of weighing whether or not to take this fight or sort of, yeah.
I'm going to cast Minor Illusion, a gigantic roar, like a dragon's roar, as loud as possible, right behind us.
As you make the roar, the apes sort of, and it doesn't even faze them. They're so focused on whatever they're focused on.
Is this little guy still kind of?
He's
in
like
my...
curled down by your ankles there. He sort of gets behind you by your ankle there. And you can see the apes are sort of...
There's a small creature at my feet. It's invisible, but I think the apes want it. Or what it's got in its mouth, which is a severed foot.
We'll get rid of it
you
if
take-
that's what they want.
Just gonna take the foot away?
I'm gonna try as quickly as I can
It looks scared. The
to
fox
snatch the foot.
grab
from
the
it.
foot.
Yeah.
Give me a sleight of hand. This is gonna be extreme. The creature's very quick and it's down by your feet.
Yeah.
So.
Sleight of hand. Oh God. 21.
Quickly backs.
I
It looks scared. It looks like it's trying to figure out whether or not,
So the Garelons aren't looking at us?
not Gearlons, giant apes.
Giant
And
apes.
they're not, they're looking in your direction, but they're clearly searching for not you. Like, they're not like, ooh, prey. They're looking for something, possibly another creature or what it's carrying. Like, they're not looking for you.
TC, are they smelling it? How are they just looking for it?
I don't know. It's fucking invisible. They must be able to sense it somehow. It might be able to guide us through. I think we should protect it. I don't
Can
know
you
why.
douse it in piss?
Give me... Giralon, will the basilic get rid of a giant ape, do we think? Or a Giralon?
Oh,
This
they've
is more
already
for, like,
seized
secrets.
that we're here. The piss isn't gonna work.
But does it see the I don't know if it can see
He's talking
the...
about piss just being the mask of it, not deceiving it, just masking the other odors.
You can see the
About-
apes starting to creep a little further. Yep, was there something?
About how far are they from us?
60, 70 feet?
70 feet.
I'm gonna take my basilisk.
I have Garelon that I was taking out. Yeah,
if
here
you
go.
were hand-
yeah,
yeah.
Garelon.
And if he's close enough to me, I'm gonna try to quickly...
Yeah, we're gonna do this like an improvised attack roll. So, Give me. It's like an improvised weapon, so give me a d20 plus. Let me just make sure.
I don't think I'm proficient in.
You don't add your proficiency bonus to attacks with a
Do I
improvised
get
weapon.
to use my dex though instead of my strength?
It's a yes. Yeah, so
Okay.
D20 plus your
Plus
dex, but
5.
no
No modifier.
proficiency. Yep.
Steady aim.
Let's go.
If you're doing it fast, and then no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
Come on, baby. Come on.
14.
And it sort of splashes a little bit of the creature, and you can see it recoils a little bit, and it backs up a little bit,
I'm sorry. It's for the best.
and it's trying to like shake itself free from the urine that was sort of. And you can see it doesn't like it. Like you can tell the
Yeah,
smell is sort of
yeah.
offensive to it.
I'm gonna look over at the apes real quick.
Do we think that if we made like an attack on the apes, they would leave us alone? Like, is it a black bear situation?
So giant apes are a simple attack. Probably not enough to sort of scare them off. They will sort of respond in kind because they think they're a threat. Maybe if you killed one, the other would run away, like out of self-preservation.
It's 2 of them.
Yes, there's 2 on the tree line. Yes, out of one might run, but just one sort of warning shot isn't likely to scare one of them.
All right, good.
I mean, does it look like they're leaving off?
Maybe we keep walking.
Yeah.
Will the fox follow? The thing follow us.
It has been following me for
Then
some
let's
time.
start
let's just keep walking to
backwards.
see
I'll
what
turn
they
my
do.
back on
Just
these
try to
things.
keep going.
Okay, start to keep walking. Everybody give me a perception check.
There we go. 27.
That one.
10.
14.
11.
11.
Okay, TC sort of all senses sort of at full power in the moment. As you're walking forward, you try to sort of keep a quick pace while always sort of looking over your shoulder, and in lockstep, the fox sort of crawling along with you. Every once in a while, it'll stop briefly to kind of try to shake off a little bit of the smell.
man.
And for a little while, the apes kind of back into the trees.
All right. Okay, so I actually believe you that there's something here. I thought you were going crazy.
I'm sorry, everyone. I think I might have a guide for us. And I'm gonna kind of sit, I'm gonna take a seat here again. I'm gonna take my handkerchief, the water flask, get the handkerchief wet, and kind of hold it out and see if it.
And for the first time, with the sort of apes having moved off, it goes on invisible. And the fox sort of appears there. You see the gray fur with the sort of red streak down the middle, and it comes forward.
And I'll let it get kind of a squeeze, and I'll
It
try
licks
to.
a little bit of the water off.
If it'll let me, I'll kind of.
It drops in order to do so, it kind of drops the little foot there.
Yeah. Let it squeeze it out and maybe try to wipe its face a little bit where I got piss on.
Okay. Well, now that there's no immediate danger, I was told to. I'm gonna fish out the ether cigarettes when I get to the edge of the wastes to light these for our friend.
The edge.
Yeah, do you think we're there?
I think we're well inside it at this point.
All right.
We
Well,
haven't seen any fog, but yeah.
There's not
little
always
guy
fog.
might-
The fog comes and
Oh,
goes.
you're right. This little guy seems to be a good indicator.
hopefully he doesn't get mad that at the smell. It's not offensive to him. I'll go to light.
Covered in piss.
He's covered in piss, man. I tried to feed him an eyeball earlier.
I'll take out however many she gave me, 4 or 5 of them, and then light them all at once.
Okay.
And
Jesus, man.
that's what she said to do.
Oh.
And then let it waft it in the air.
Should we keep walking as we're
A
walking?
little.
No, he said he'd come to me. He would know.
So we're just staying put.
We don't know.
I
if we're
don't
in the
know.
right spot.
I don't-
Hopefully those apes don't like smoking.
Illien's like, shit, I don't. Oh god.
Okay, we're out in the open here. There are woods 200, 300 feet off
Yeah, even less than that.
in one direction.
Off to the west. Yeah. Yeah, there's like trees, and then they get, further and further far apart as it gets closer to the river. There's like a little sort of
Okay.
bank that's rather open, which you guys have been walking along.
I think we're inside the waste, so good a time as any. I'll try to keep this guy on our side, I guess.
Let's try waiting for 5 minutes. just see if anything happens.
Keep eyes out.
All right.
All right.
Who needs this? It's the bottled breath.
Didn't we say 2 and 4?
Who's 2 and 4?
I don't need. I'm 2, but I don't.
Shoot,
need
I guess
It's
I
just
am
being.
4.
You're gonna be in the middle of the line to distribute it to who needs it.
Got it.
That's
All right.
it.
You
So,
hold it.
2 and
And
number
I have
2, number
and I
4.
have 4, and I have the other one.
Great.
And if we're taking a few minutes here, I'm gonna like take a few more things out of my bag and see if it responds to anything. And
Doesn't respond to anything.
No.
Sometimes when you take something out of your bag, it sort of sniffs it for a moment, and then it goes back to the foot, and like,
I can't help but think that there's something this little guy is looking for, something specific. You can see how strangely emaciated he is, no?
Yeah.
But he doesn't want any food or.
Does he look like
Does he want any water?
a fox that I'd see, like a fox I would recognize?
but it's not. It looks like just a regular fox. He's just sort of weirdly emaciated. Yeah, like it doesn't seem like it's a particular species.
Does it
seems
seem like he's really only searching TC for whatever it is he's looking for?
He like walked. He seemed to have TC both was the first one that he sort of glommed onto, and sort of TC offered him and a little bit of a piece. But he did sort of stick his nose up at some of the other backpacks. He sort of, but he doesn't seem to smell what he's looking for. He comes up to some of the other people's backpacks. And then kind of moves along.
The tips of my tridents are still a little bloody. Like, if I like hold that out, like, is it the scent of like fresh kill that like?
You hold it up. It doesn't seem so.
Okay.
You hold the trident out. He comes up and he gonna. And then he walks away a little bit.
Scanning around, does like the grass and everything feel like dead? Like there's not a lot of water in the area. Like is it dehydrated? It really wants water.
The river's right there.
Okay. Okay. We're still by the river. Okay. Got it.
No, it doesn't seem like.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what he wants, but I would imagine he knows this area and knows how to keep away from big threats like that, or they come towards him. Oh gods, I don't know.
I mean, I don't mind having a creature on our side at any point to sense danger that we can't see, especially.
And I try to pet him.
Give me an animal handling.
Be gentle. He's skittish.
That is
That's only a 13.
13. You can see he's just sort of getting used to being around other creatures. You get close, and he doesn't like run away, but he also sort of just ducks away a little bit just from. But if you kind of sit there, he doesn't try to get distance from you. Just sort of sits.
Do you think he's looking for more gray flesh?
I mean, I think that's just what he came across. I don't know if it's a delicacy to him. Do you have any to offer?
Well, I was thinking if the shield had been with the dead man for long enough, maybe it would have picked up a scent. I don't have any on me now.
I've already held out the weapon, and well, I guess the shield is also in my hand. He's not showing any favoritism toward that. Guess if you see a rabbit, shoot
I
it.
guess I'll get out the tusk that I grabbed and just see if that's.
Doesn't seem to produce a reaction. I would say also, like, during this time you're watching, your sort of cigarettes are getting lower and lower, and no one has kind of appeared yet, and you're starting to get worried.
I would continue walking and let the smoke waft is my consideration.
You don't think this is enough?
No, not if we're not close to him.
Maeve seemed to think that he could know we were here. But okay, maybe we do a small walk. Keep walking in.
Continue walking through
This
the
is
waste.
making me nervous.
Some kind of
I'm
amazing
nervous for you,
senses,
brother.
hopefully.
Let's keep moving. Single file, maybe.
Slowly, though.
Eyes peeled.
I'd hate to have done that for nothing.
Oh, God. All right, keep walking.
There's no good thinking about it, Illien. You've
We're
done
up.
it.
We're
Why did
up.
we even come to the waste?
Shut up!
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
I'll fucking
I mean,
kill
we're
you.
out in the open enough that somebody could see us 100, 200 feet off.
Yeah, if they're along the river, definitely.
Yeah.
It's quite open along
Then
the
good.
rail.
Yeah, we'll go a little bit.
All right.
And I'll keep my
Snuff it out. for
eyes
now.
out for more invisible creatures.
No.
It's probably burned down to like a third of them. If you burn all of them, they're all down to about a third of the. Yeah.
I would snuff it out, and then if we get deeper in the waste, we can light it again.
Maeve said to light them true and just let them go.
Oh, well, if Maeve said it, then...
Well, it's our fucking friend.
Follow directions, young man. Follow directions.
Sorry, not to give you lip. Sorry, I'm just tense.
Let's keep going.
Yes.
Slow progress.
He comes with us.
This is supposed to be the fast route.
Okay. 5 minutes. I'm asking for.
Let's keep walking, and then it will walk.
Yes, a slow walk I'm okay with. A slow walk.
I'm watching ours next.
Northbound hike resumes a little bit. Having gotten perhaps a little bit of a taste of what agitation the pestilence might instill in those that dwell here, whether it's the fox or the man that you met, you determine that no anomaly is too small to draw the party's attention to. Frequently, someone in the group might motion to kind of a discolored plant, or a drooping branch, a strangely patterned bird. Everyone just sort of keeping everyone else keenly aware of everything that's surrounding you. If it seemed at first there would be a long, gradual transition into the gray, that notion is put to rest when you've walked maybe another mile upriver, and I'm going to give you the option here. Would you have snuffed this out at some point? You guys are walking, nothing has appeared, and they're burning down.
One thing maybe clicks in Illien's head, and I look down at the fox, and I offer the cigarettes down like.
It even turns away from that. It seems very pungent, and it's unappealing.
And it seems very much that we have entered the waste at the very least. Holy shit. Okay. Oh no. Okay.
Snuff it. Save it
How
for
about-
later,
how
for
about-
God's
Does
sake.
Snuff 3 of
the
them.
place around? I only had 3. That's what I wrote down.
Snuff 2 of them.
She said light them all. Wait.
Oh my god.
The area around me, the plants and the grass and everything, is everything like devoid of color at this point?
No, pieces here and there. Like you'll see a leaf here, a branch
Okay.
there.
Then I will snuff it out. Fuck.
All of them?
Yeah.
Okay. Sort of pinch them. I think that's right.
Yeah. We wait until it feels like maybe we're solidly in. Although she said at the edge. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep going.
You carry these little kind of nubs in your hand, and the smell of them sort of brings you back to Brunkhollow. The smell of being inside Maeve's sort of place there by the river, that ether smell. And you've walked about another mile upriver from where that sort of encounter with the fox and the apes on the tree line took place. And up ahead, maybe a few hundred feet, it's kind of like those moments when you're up in the mountains and you have an unimpeded view of like miles ahead of you, and you can actually see like a rainstorm approaching. Like an actual line where the rain is coming down, the dark clouds, and where that's sort of coming closer and closer, but it hasn't quite reached you yet to this point. You look ahead, and the trees are green, and then they're not. You watch the river, you look upriver, and the water's blue, and then it's not. A byproduct of perhaps the tainted vegetation that's on the riverbed and along the banks. A very light fog keeps the sun from fully permeating all the way to the ground. And you can see why superstitious types would think that these lands are cursed rather than ravaged by a natural event. It looks cursed. The way the sort of fog is hovering in the air, the way the color is sapped, they look like the gods reached down and sort of siphoned the color and life away, leaving behind just sort of an empty husk of this once thriving woodland. And you haven't entered into that yet, but you can see it's like color, and then it just stops.
I would say this is the edge.
That's
Yeah, I think we found your edge.
Looks pretty cursed.
Hopefully you have enough of the blue left.
I hope so.
I'll be interested to see if our friend joins us after we pass that threshold.
The fox?
Yeah, the fox. My friend. Sorry, not his friend.
We're all making friends.
I'm hoping that this friend of yours could help get us through that storm without any...
That's part of the hope. Me too.
It doesn't look like a storm. Sorry, that was an analogy.
Oh, it's not-
I was comparing it to seeing a storm.
It's
in the
like
distance.
seeing a
Yes,
storm.
because there's like
Got it.
almost like a wall of fog. Like it just starts very suddenly.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Are we ready to step in?
Well, weren't you supposed to light and then wait?
Let's get to the edge.
At the edge.
At the
Maybe I take a step into it, the literal edge, and I will hide it, relight then.
It seems like it'll be made clear.
Okay.
Let's go.
Keeping an eye on the little guy. He's still visible. He hasn't.
He's still visible.
Okay.
He's carrying the foot the whole way. Stayed very close to you the whole time.
Why do you think the apes were hunting a fox?
Maybe the fact that he can turn invisible?
Maybe that. I mean, if the fox can only find dead feet to eat, maybe the apes can only find foxes to eat. I don't know. And were they after the fox or were they after the foot?
I don't know.
I wish I could talk to you. Sorry.
Another 100 feet. Probably 100 feet away. As you get up to, less than 50 feet, the fox takes a couple steps sort of past you, which it hasn't done up to this point, and then goes back invisible.
Okay.
And then it skitters into the waste forward, and it leaves your blind sight vision.
He went right in, confidently.
Well, that's a good sign.
So we follow confident as well.
Well,
I'm gonna wrap my scarf around my mouth and nose, kind of thing.
do my
We'll cover
patented
up.
hanky.
And then
Right.
I'm gonna
if
try
I'm
to
in
follow
the
him.
front, I'll go.
If I keep him close enough, I can follow him. I
Do
can
you
track
want to
him.
go up front then?
I'll go front.
I'll be
All
right
right.
behind you then.
Fine. Illien, light your shit. We're
Yeah.
moving.
Smoke him if you got him.
Okay, as soon as we go in, and then I'll light it as
So
it
you
goes.
stand up to the edge, and you can see, you look down, and it's like almost like a forest fire came through. Like there's a line on the ground where all the grass and the color just disappears. And it's like, for those of you that have dark vision, you've seen with the goggles, it's like that. Like all of a sudden everything's in shades of gray. Like that's what it looks like looking at dark vision in pure black. Take a step in, you feel the fog sort of lightly wash over your skin, a little bit of moisture, a little bit of coolness in the air. I'm gonna hand out these, although they're not relevant yet. But they're little faded wastes counters to see how affected you are by the
Oh, no.
effects of the faded wastes.
What, they're like little rulers.
Yeah, they have little numbers, 0 to 15. Nothing yet, but important.
Oh no.
Oh,
As you step into it, you can see when you sort of, even with a face covering, as you sort of take your first breath, you take that breath and you have to take a second one immediately. Right away, it's like, it's not enough air. Like you have to take like a deeper breath because it's not filling your lungs all the way. And you feel a little bit of sort of irritation around your nostrils, almost like a very slight allergic reaction, very thin, and also very sort of just a little stinging to the nostrils, little sinuses back in the throat, the way that it feels. And one by one, you sort of all pass through into the fog.
as soon as we step in, I'd like to do the druid craft again and just see, like, what does it look like now?
Sure. Little orb. And it stays perfectly clear, and you look at it for a moment, and then all of a sudden, it's filled with sort of a fog inside the little bauble there. And then it gets clear again, and then it gets filled again. It's like it's sensing that the weather's changing, or that that the weather's different, but also that there's something at play here that isn't just natural weather. Like your druidcraft is sensing some sort of strange weather. That
This isn't
sort of-
just natural weather.
Yeah,
patterns.
that isn't just the usual passage of weather.
That's when I'll light the cigarettes as well.
And it's down to this sort of little nub there, and you sort of hold it up. Everybody give me a perception check.
19.
All right, 21.
4.
24.
7.
Natural 20! Wait, before I forget, does Charm of the Champions work on this?
Oh,
I've literally been waiting to roll a 20.
Please.
When you make an ability check, you roll a natural 20.
Yes.
I can use it!
Let's
Yes.
go.
What is it?
I get
her
20
chewinga.
temporary hit points.
Oh my god.
What?
Yes, let's go!
Got that
that
ages ago from the
chewinga?
chewinga.
Yes,
I've
thank you.
literally
Yeah.
never rolled a nat 20 on an ability check. I
That
haven't
is
been able to
That's
use it.
incredible.
yeah.
In
Yes.
like 30 episodes?
Yep,
That's
something like that.
crazy.
As you look off into the distance, Doxley, two things happen. First of all, you feel like you see something off to the right where maybe some other people aren't immediately looking. You wave a little bit of the smoke from fumes from the ether out of your face, and in the distance you start to see something. And in that moment, you feel a little bit of that chewinga magic, sort of like the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. You gain the temporary HP, and you also see two sort of shadowy figures in the fog. One of them, very low to the ground, with little ears that twitch, on 4 feet, and a bushy tail that's sort of a little thinner than usual, sort of back and forth. And behind it, a humanoid figure, walking just a step or two behind the little fox that's leading the way. And it's very fuzzy. It's just a gray sort of silhouette that you can see so far because of the fog and the lack of light in here.
I think your two friends might know each other. Doxley will give a head like a
With her attention, everybody looks in that direction. You can see the two figures approaching.
I think they get it, Illien.
Just make sure that's the right things. I don't know. I'm gonna get attacked.
Give me a little bit of that.
Run it down, yeah.
That'll kill you.
Did
Okay.
Maeve give you a name?
No. Hello.
Might not be him, but
I'm here. A friend sent me to you, I think. Maeve. Give me a wave if you're friendly.
The figure kneels down. It scratches the fox. And then stands back up.
Guys, he's friendly. All right. Sure. I'm gonna approach.
Give me a perception check, too.
I'm gonna
Up high, down low.
I'm gonna say like I think we may have kept the apes away from your little four-legged friend. Sorry if he smells bad.
I'm tactical minding that. So that's gonna be a dirty 20.
A dirty 20?
Yeah.
Great. With the wave, there's something else that you kind of see that's slightly... It has a generally sort of very standard humanoid shape, but you pick up on something just slightly different that sort of catches your senses as you try to get an idea of who this figure might be. Even just something simple like a race, whether they're tall or short, it's very hard to tell just the way the fog's sort of obscuring it. And that's where we're going to stop.
No, it's not.
Wait, no, it's not.
Come on, man.
No.
Come on.
What?
What's that about?
And with the blue ether bringing about Illien's perhaps contact here in the Faded Ways.
We are cooking, you guys. This is
Bam, bam, bam,
the
bam.
way.
In and out, man.
Yeah.
You guys were worried.
You rolled a 14 on your roll. A fox's AC is 13 to hit them with the
I rolled a
urine.
9.
Wow.
Plus 5.
So that was the roll on the
On getting the piss on him?
on getting the Gearline.
I was literally thinking I was gonna have to maybe shoot it because that was
Oh,
what
to
I
make
would
him
be
get
better
away?
at.
That would have been pretty bad if that's this guy's
I know. I know.
Did you shoot him with the piss?
I did shoot him with the piss.
I wonder.
Like a little squirt gun.
Yeah.
I wonder if he.
I would have to use another piss.
Illien's what?
The Maeve's box.
Oh, that's what he was
Oh, you think he's
smelling.
sniffing
was
Maeve's
wondering about
box?
Don't say it like that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Erica, if you're catching up.
Oh, more fart in the Disky Mutant? I love it. I can't wait.
That is where we're going to start. Everybody's got their Faded Wastes
that's
meters,
worrying.
and that is where we're going to pick up next week with a new
Oh,
acquaintance
no.
in the wastes.
Another hour.
And a Vulpix. And a little Vulpix.
a little.
A lowland voltage.
But it's got no colors. It's a lowland. Yeah,
a
exactly.
lowland voltage.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you.
Deep Pokemon reference.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we didn't get a Master Ball from Samson and
That was
Samson.
the problem.
We could have captured it.
Oh no, it's a little sneak peek of something. I see.
What?
Mutant.
There's no way they didn't have that on the
He's teasing
recorder.
something.
What's the
I
fart in
can't
the
wait.
disky?
What's happening?
It's like a little part of something
Oh.
that they're gonna drop later.
Okay.
That's
Oh, they're
exciting.
teasing us
I
with
guess
fart?
you'll-
They're teasing their fart.
Ah, dude.
Wow.
Just a little.
To fart tease Disky. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for joining us once again here. Next week will be chapter 58. We're in the wastes.
Oh.
We got just one last stretch to go before reaching the Pink Prairies.
Oh my god.
People were asking in the chat. It was a good question. So Notch and Soda is gonna just be every 4 episodes, like not
Yes.
every 4
Not every
weeks
4
exactly.
weeks,
So the next Notch and Soda is gonna be chapter 60, following
Yes.
chapter 60.
Yeah, 4 episodes.
So in 3 more shows. Good question.
Yeah.
Let me just thank some people. I think Armor Crocodile gifted a sub, Told by a Small Bird 10 bits, Insanely Flatulent resubscribed, Roki resubscribed, Rob's Pop Shop resubscribed, Shiblings resubscribed, and Crow Valentine resubscribed.
Thank you.
guys so
We hope you
much.
guys enjoyed. We
You guys
love being back, having you
Thank
guys here, hanging out with us. great show. You guys avoided fights.
Thank God.
Avoided 3 fights. Wow.
Wow.
That was,
So
2.5.
the half man is that if we had taken more
If
than
you had
one?
taken more than one shield, yeah. So sort of avoided that.
Intensely curious how that would have played out.
Yeah.
The same.
The saber-tooth
The saber-tooth
tigers and the
tigers
apes.
and the apes.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
guys, 2 out of 3 of those
Solved
because of your.
Yeah.
100%, and we still have
Huge.
2 pisses. Although they're the same
I have a
piss.
basilisk piss.
I also have. a
Oh, are we
basilisk.
out of Girlon piss?
I think it was 2 and 2.
Yeah.
No, I have Carolyn Pitt.
You have
Okay, we
one
got
more?
one.
Okay,
Ooh, we gotta savor that Girlon piss.
Huge
We
piss
really-
episode.
Huge
Yeah.
piss.
If you're
Huge
if you're
episode
pro
for
piss utilization, this was a big episode.
I hope the piss
Battle
enthusiasts in the
Lamont
audience
part
have
two.
stuck out 57 episodes to get to this point.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a
Yeah.
wonderful week. We'll see you next time. Next week, same time, 7 o'clock. Be there. Figure out who this guy is. Let's go.
Let's go to the Disney.
See you, everybody.